let me. God, I don't even. This is such a slightly. Cause it's going to be a slightly odd start to the session, but I'm sure once we get into things, we'll pick up. Thank you all for being here. And so let's kind of catch ourselves up a little bit in terms of Jeb's story. And Jeb, you had of course been present in Oakenford Crossroads at the a few days ago when. Out of seemingly nowhere, a devastating impact from some sort of meteorite completely obliterated essentially the entire town of Oakenford Crossroads. In the immediate aftermath of that,
calamity.
in the immediate aftermath of that, you know what? Let's bring Phil up on screen as well, so we can chat about that. Hello, Phil. Hello.
Howdy.
Howdy to you. So you were there, of course, in Oakenford. In the immediate aftermath of that incident, Senator Pangborn had asked you to help with the aid concern and deliver news to Midgin, which you had duly done. And in Midgin, you were successful in working with the deputy magistrate to arrange kind of care and aid package to be sent back to Oakenford to help with the survivors. Other raiding parties had gone off elsewhere to other different parts of Playdean, and the news hopefully being spread far and wide, and different towns and cities sending whatever assistance is available to them. As well as this kind of initial desire to send aid to Oakenford, something of a mystery had developed regarding an amulet that was taken from a survivor in Oakenford as you were leaving on the way to Midgin. And what you've been able to delineate about it so far is simply that it's something to do with the Asmanos, the old god of stars. And you had commented that Asmanos was a name you had not heard really since the war, which ended 24 years ago. People in Midgin that you'd asked about this, or really just one person, the Bishop Morningfall at the House of Corvus in Midgin, had been not just reluctant to discuss Asmanos, but the very mention of Asmanos' name had caused her to clam up and have you and essentially throw you out of the House of Corvus there. So you have retained possession of this amulet, and you were setting off into the big kind of mystery that seems bound up in this somehow was that the person that you recovered that amulet from had written a message in the dirt in Oakenford that said find Great Wolf, with no other kind of details. And really the best information that you've had so far about that, anybody in Midgin that you spoke to about Great Wolf, all they really were able to do was direct you into the forest of Tarren, because it was known for housing populations of wolves. But that's kind of the best information you've had to go on so far. Good. So we are going to start by moving the timeline along several weeks. And in fact, we're going to pick up a month later. Let me get some music on the go.
Come on, Kinku.
Here we go. We should begin to hear the strains of some somberish music. Jeb has been travelling in the Forest of Tarren, towards and then within the Forest of Tarren for the last month. Why do you think Jeb has become so obsessed with this mystery? What do you think is driving him at this point in time?
Well, I reckon that meteor coming on down, it's something he ain't used to seeing, of course, and it's been a puzzling thing that's wrecked his mind just watching a town and he's so familiar with, and a bunch of people that he's had some history with, just trying to figure out what in the hell's happened, and see if there can be some kind of retribution. I'm going to ignore how you're manipulating my window right now.
Sorry.
A little distracted. No, it's fine. No, yeah, I think it's just something that he can't just press on forward. He's got to kind of get to the bottom of what exactly has happened.
Yep.
And it seems a bit otherworldly or menacing in a way that seems like you just can't quite ignore it. Goes against Jeb's nature to do so.
Makes sense to me. What do you think Jeb has been doing? Like, he's been in or around the Forest of Tarren for a month now. What do you think he's been searching for?
Well, Jeb ain't no stranger to being in the wilderness and the woods, and so he makes himself pretty familiar quite quick. I imagine he'd have spent some time sort of plotting it out a bit, maybe making his own little bit of a map to keep track, and probably he'd be tracking movements, looking for sign of animals, and particularly wolves, see if he could find like a pack, or and if he ever to encounter looking for people, I can't imagine he run into many folks, but if he ever does, he'd be asking questions about Great Wolf.
Mm-hmm. Let's go over to the team view a second. Hello, other players. How are we doing?
Hello.
And we'll meet them properly. Let's hope as things go along. We won't just have them sit there speechless for 3 hours. In fact, I'll speak to Lissy and Grigg before we speak to their characters. Lissy, I've got a job for you. I want you to tell me something bad that's happened to Jeb in the last month. Some kind of encounter that he's had that would have been posed some kind of challenge to him.
Lissy, I've always liked you. You've always been real cool.
Or no.
Sorry to put you on the spot like that.
No, yeah.
If I may go ahead and yell my battle cry of "Be nice to me."
For some reason, the first thing I thought of was like a wolf attack.
Mm-hmm.
But like nice wolves. I don't want to kill you.
Nice wolves that attacked you. Okay, so
they're really cool,
Jeb obviously has been searching for wolves. Has came under attack a couple of weeks ago, didn't he, from the nice wolves of the Forest of Tarren, that despite being very nice, did nevertheless attack him. Nicely, of course, but viciously as well, it must be said.
I really like your hat.
Yeah, this outfit is lovely.
They're really charming, They had bow ties.
They would bite. They'd bite you in a way that implied a lot of respect for your kind of character, I think. Jeb, how? No, tell you what, Grigg.
Yes.
In this encounter with the nice wolves, just as Jeb seemed to have it under control, what's something that happened that made the situation worse?
Oh, there's so many options, but I like Phil.
Try not to think about Phil.
Yeah.
Try not to think. Phil's not there. That's fine. It's Jeb.
Yeah.
I think that the thing that would probably have made it worse is that he, I don't know, maybe pissed off the alphas or in some way aggravated wolves within a local region, so that things are maybe a little bit more hostile to him.
Okay, so not only coming under attack from the nice wolves, but in fact the commotion may have alerted his other wolves that maybe aren't even as nice to his presence.
Yeah, as far as wolves can talk to each other,
Yeah.
they know about a rat that they don't like.
Yeah, guys, keep your eyes peeled for this fucking rat. Phil or Jeb, you can answer from whoever's point of view you like. How did you resolve this issue?
These are all great questions.
Yeah, you weren't expecting this, are you? A little bit of
I wasn't. No, I love
we'll
it.
do
I
a little
love
bit
it.
of
It'll
we'll
make
do a
me
bit
think on
of
my feet a little bit.
world building before we start.
Yeah, no, always great. So I reckon that what Jeb would do, whether his encounters with the lesser of the pack were, maybe a little bit startling, but overall kind of creating a bond or some kindness, but the alphas being unhappy with that, I think Jeb would make a point to kind of leave their territory, to try to be on the outskirts and the edges of a specific region, kind of cordon it off for himself, to where maybe he could keep an eye on their activities from a distance, but make a strong point to avoid any kind of hostility, because in the
Okay.
end, he doesn't really know if Great Wolf is going to be something he's going to have to confront and fight, or create some kind of union with.
Yeah, I like that pragmatism and trying to de-escalate until further information is gathered. Jeb, could you please give me a survival check? Before you do it, just to kind of put you in the picture, what we're rolling for here is to basically see overall how well you've done over the last month. And
Of course.
so there are definitely going to be potentially different outcomes depending. Now, Phil, do we need to have a little sidebar about the dice rolling before you begin? Okay, like last time out, yeah, they were a bit shocking. I'm going to throw my arm around you. Listen, I want you to imagine me behind you, giving you like a shoulder rub, right? Like it's like, listen, hey, come on, big boy, just you need to don't fear the dice can smell fear, okay? You need to believe that you can roll above a 15 on this.
My confidence has been shaken. We're going to find out right now. All right, well,
Nice.
I ain't done. It ain't looking so good.
It could be worse. It could be worse.
It could be worse.
It could be worse.
Also be better. But I find it could also be a bit better.
The difference
It could be
between a
great.
10 and a 9 on that roll could prove to be significant.
All right.
Could you please... could you please roll 2d6 of damage,
All right.
please?
I'm so scared. Oh, 2d6 damage. Rolling it.
Okay.
7.
So you take 7. You're coming into the game with 7 HP less than your full.
All right.
You would of course be. I don't think that. No, you were at full HP before that. Okay, good. So
Yeah.
as the days of war on, I think that survival check tells us something else as well. That while you've have spent time out in the wilderness, not really like this. You're normally touching base with a town or something. This drive to uncover this mystery has become a bit all-consuming, and you've begun to neglect your own well-being. And it is upon a day that we pick things up with you that you had become you're weaker, you're in pain from this from the daily drudgery and just wearing you down of being isolated and not being able to rest properly, not being able to eat properly. And it was in this moment that you encountered an enormous bear, a fearsome predator of the forest. Taken by surprise and knocked prone, that this bear standing over you, snarling, its claws sharp and its teeth bared, no pun intended.
And it's bare teethed.
On this
Stupid.
rainy day, the being knocked to the ground by this bear, and Jeb knocking his head on the ground, and everything begins to go blurry. But through your uncertain, blurred vision and through the confusion, suddenly you are sure you see a figure that you recognize standing now between you and this bear, their axe drawn, their feet planted in the soil. Let's meet Ingrid again. Hello, Ingrid, again.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Ingrid. Well, Lissy, can you perhaps just describe Ingrid for those who have not met her before?
Of course I can. So Ingrid is, I didn't change my age, but she's about 100 now.
She would be about
I would
100 now.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not old. She's not old. Okay.
Don't
She-
say she is, because she will sue you, okay?
She's got a giant great axe, so you can't say anything bad about her.
Yeah.
You can try, but you can do it once.
Ill-advised.
Right. She's a dwarf. She is 4'8". She's got emerald green eyes and pale pink hair, and yeah, she's just kind of a goofball, a little bit.
Even at
She's great.
the ripe old age of 100, but not old,
Yeah.
of course. Now,
No, absolutely not.
I've got a question, and Jeb and Ingrid, maybe put your heads together on this. Now, we know that these two characters know each other and were introduced back at Ashak Daygale's funeral some 50 years ago. But have they seen each other since that time? Have they met up in between now and that point?
I've mostly been, I think, at Iron Glen. So if Jeb has ever
Jeb,
made
you
it
ever get over to
Glen-
Iron Glen as part of your deliveries, or any other adventure for that matter?
I would think that Jeb probably does, and perhaps when he's there, he remembers or thinks about Ingrid, but it's always kind of a get it there, get back, like it's a meeting with somebody specific, and he doesn't spend. I guess he doesn't spend too much time in a place when he makes these trips.
Wave.
So he keeps an eye out for a giant axe and a head of light pink hair, but
Sure.
But yeah, it's never quite enough time to go kind of knock it around to see if Ingrid is there. So
Makes sense to
Kind
me.
of like caught up.
it's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, this is the figure, Jeb, that you see now facing down this bear, and as you sort of seem drift in and out of consciousness somewhat, it's you see this axe swing and catch the pale light through the trees as it connects with this bear, which takes a wound and seems sufficiently deterred as it rushes off into the forest, nursing a pretty gnarly looking gash on its torso. The fate of the bear, I'm afraid to say, will remain unknown. But Ingrid, you're left stood over Jeb's sort of prone body.
Oh, hey, I know you.
Hey, check, done come to take me on.
Nah,
it's
not
over.
today.
It's
Nah,
the
you're
big-
good.
Wait. Ingrid, that you?
Jeb?
It's been a long old time. What are you doing in these woods?
I was looking for you, actually.
Yeah, I'll kind of put up a hand. I need some help.
Yeah, I'll
Getting
pull you
up
up.
off the ground. Oh,
Yep.
oh my stars and bars! That thing came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Save my
I'd-
bacon.
Yeah, I'm happy to do it. How are you? I heard you've been in these woods for a while.
I've been out here a little longer than I was prepared for. I must confess, I wasn't quite expecting to be here as long as I was, and if I'm being honest, I was getting to a point where I was about to have to pack out and leave. So if it wasn't for you, I may not. This may have been my resting place.
Hey, I got your back. I got you.
Jeb,
What are you? Oh,
Sorry, go
say,
go
what
ahead.
so you? Okay, sorry, Mark. So I was gonna say, so what are you doing here? What are you looking for me for?
Well, I got to hold on, sorry, brain. Oakenford. I was helping a group. We sent a group from Iron Glen to go help after the disaster. And then I heard some people talking about you're very iconic kind of person. So I heard them talking about, kind of a country mouse. And I was like, there's only one of those guys. Like, it's gotta be him.
Oh, shoot.
So,
I
I
guess I
heard you
do
were in
stand
the-
out a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. In a good way. In a good way.
there's a whole fucking town of them up north. You should see it. Oh my god.
Why?
You've not met Pappy.
I don't get out much, okay? Just me in the forest most of the day.
I'm like kind of collecting myself, like I'm dusting off my hat. I'm sort of like pulling my coat up closer and checking my pouches and belts and everything. And I'm saying, hey, I reckon it's because I'm so eloquent and well spoken.
Yeah, I think so.
Jeb, your Ingrid has obviously helped you to your feet, but it seems like maybe you've suffered some kind of concussion, and you suddenly find yourself overwhelmed and drop to one knee, and then collapse on the floor and drift into unconsciousness once more.
I think I would do that thing where I think I'm okay or better than I am, and as soon as I get up and kind of go to turn, like I'm like, ugh, and just sort of like, like collapse into Ingrid.
Yeah, I'll try to catch you.
Once the adrenaline wears off, the two of you, well, we'll find out, I'm sure, what Ingrid's been up to. Jeb, the next thing you're aware of is awaking to the sound, the kind of distant, or not distant, they're close by, but because of your injury, the muddled sound of voices in your mind as you come out of consciousness, and looking around you from your laying position on the ground, you see that you've kind of been laid on the edge of a little circle of people, and you're all sheltered in this small what's the word I'm after here? What's the word? Made of bricks. It's not a building, but it's like it's made of stones, and it's like sort of a building, but like, there's no roof. This thing that's visible on screen.
One of those.
Surrounded by stone and
Make your own name for it. It's your world.
yeah. But this is like quite a basic word that I've forgotten. Like this isn't like a fantasy thing. It's not like,
I'm offering no help either.
This
I'm
isn't-
trying so hard.
it's a stone circle.
It's a stony wood ring.
And it's in a sort of small clearing in the forest. And as you kind of come to
jail.
as you come to, Ingrid is certainly within this group, and then there's sort of 6 or 7 people that you don't recognise. One of them, perhaps Grig could describe to us in a bit more detail. Give us the physical properties of Lorben.
A Lorben, really? Yeah. He is roughly 6 foot-ish. He's not been measured in a while. He is a half-elf, so it's quite hard to kind of pin down a good solid age, but he's an adult of some description, at the very least. And he's kind of got like mousy brown hair, swept back, very elvish kind of generic features. And he's wearing kind of like leather, kind of like buckled, strapped, kind of like loose, thrown together armor.
That's right. Good. Anything else we should know about Lorben at this stage? Just something that you can see, or anything else that maybe of note about him at this point in time?
I think at this juncture, probably it's clear that he's not a big fighty man. He's quite slender, and he's quite he's not got like a large axe or like a big mace or anything. He's just got a dagger that looks like it's not really even come out of the holster in a while.
Mostly used for eating food with.
Yeah, for the most part.
Good.
Cheese knife.
So coming to Jeb, the you hear this voice rise above the others and say, "Now, Lorben, you, unlike me brother Locke, you've never really been keen on some of the jobs that we take. Now, why is that a problem for you?"
Well, I just think that maybe we should be a little more particular about the kind of jobs that we take. Maybe a little bit more kind, so to speak.
I want to thank you, Lorben, for expressing that to the group, and it's certainly an opinion that we've had from time to time. And I want everyone to remember that this is a safe space, a safe circle where anyone can express their feelings without judgment, without hostility.
And I want to thank you for expressing that in such a kind way to me.
And I want to thank you for thanking us for the environment. It's really important, I think, that we get that double reinforcement, make sure that everybody's feeling really listened to. Locke,
as we discussed, if it's more than 4 levels, we've gone too far.
Yes, 2 to 3 is optimal.
Perfect, yes.
We don't want to, we can't be here all day going backwards and forwards like that. 2 to 3, perfectly sufficient. I think at that point it does become a bit of a parody of itself and can be, we don't want people to think we're not sincere at the same time. That's part of it.
Of course.
Yeah. Now, Borgwyn, of course, you've got a very different view on this matter. Do you want to take the opinions pillow? Lorben, could you pass the opinions pillow to Borgwyn?
Ah, yes, of course. Sorry. There you go. Let me just pass that to
Great. Had a prop ready. That's nice. You pass the opinions pillow to a dwarf sat a couple of spaces away, and this dwarf sitting there is like, firstly, thank you, Lorben, for passing over the opinion pillow so promptly.
Yes.
And thank you, Cradley, for giving me the opportunity to speak. I just believe we're in, as we've discussed many times, we have to take the jobs that come our way. We're not in such a great position that we can afford to turn down these jobs. And I want to express to you, Lorben, I don't want you to think that I don't see the merit in what you're saying. And in a perfect world, it would be great to turn down some of those, not as nice jobs in favour of delivering, feathers to somewhere. But that's not the world we've been presented with. That's why we're here.
We got a really good price for those feathers, and that job was good.
And if we could do that all the time, I'd be perfectly happy, but the feather delivery business, as you know, has taken a big hit over the last few years, and particularly the last 6 months.
This is true.
Well, I've said my piece, and he hands the opinion pillow back to the figure in the center. There you go, Cradley. This figure in the center is a human, kind of an older guy. Looks to sort of be in his maybe 50s, mid 50s. You can see on his face the weathering, his careworn features. And he takes the opinions pillow and says, "Right, well, thank you very much." Oh, he looks down at Jeb and says, "I see our guest has begun to rouse. Are you feeling better, friend?"
I'm getting there. Thank you, friend.
Well, no
Where am
problem at all. Well, right this second, you're in the forest of Taran. We're just taking shelter at this shrine. You owe a big debt of gratitude to your friend here. Points at Ingrid. She
I sure do. Thank you. Thank you again.
she came upon our camp yesterday evening and carried you in here. She said you've been in the forest for a month. Is that true?
Yes, sir. At least, maybe longer. I kind of lost track of time after a while.
Nobody should spend that long in the forest. Certainly not people who are not raised in it. Kalinda, you'd be all right. He points at this elf sitting on the outside of the across the circle from you, who just sort of nods. Says, "But I and Locke and Borgwyn, Lorben. Well, Lorben, you might be all right. You've got enough elf in you to withstand it, I should think."
I've spent my time out there.
Yes.
No,
Well,
I ain't generally no stranger to the woods, but yeah, it wasn't quite like what I'm used to at home.
yes, well, none of us are in our homes now, unfortunately. He pauses for a moment and looks at his feet and says, "Well, anyway, we must return to the matter at hand, friends. I want to thank each of you for taking the opinion pillow and giving your feelings to the group. But ultimately, you know what this means. We need to have a vote on whether or not the group is going to continue to accept kill for cash jobs. Now, we want to do this anonymously." And he begins taking out a piece of parchment, and he reaches into his pocket and locates a few tiny pieces of charcoal, and he goes around the circle and begins to hand out. He doesn't hand one to Ingrid or to Jeb, but he gives... just so you know, that there are, in total, there are 5, including Lorben. So you've got Cradley, Locke, Kalinda, and Borgwyn and Lorben in this group at present. He hands round a little piece of parchment. He says, "So if everyone will mark their parchment with either a circle for aye or an X for nay, and hand it back. Well, actually, could you..." He looks at Ingrid. "Because perhaps in the interest of fairness and to ensure no foul play, would you mind collecting the votes for us?"
Sure.
Thank you so much. If you could each hand your votes to... I'm sorry, was it Imogen?
Ingrid, close though.
Ingrid, I do apologise. We try to make a point of remembering names as well as we can. It's my memory, no fault of yours. I apologise.
No.
Hand your votes, please, to Ingrid, everybody.
Can I open my bag where I think before this meeting I would have hastily shoved my imp into it and just start trying to read the bone style, just try and get a vibe sense on which way, maybe try and interpret.
An
a
imp,
little
you say?
Yay or nay. An imp, I'd say. That.
What a stunning development that is.
What?
This imp you mentioned. Tell us
Yes.
more.
So inside the bag is just kind of like, what's the best way to describe it? If you kind of scaled up a naked mole rat and kind of strapped wings on it, that's the kind of vibe of this imp. Maybe specifically there's more demonic kind of features to him, but in terms of like how it feels to look at him, it's a naked mole rat with wings.
It's like the Bobcat Goldthwait imp in Hercules.
Yes. It's like that mixed with Phil. It's somewhere between the two.
And you
so
keep
then-
this imp stuffed in a bag, you say?
I generally don't, but I think possibly just before the meeting I was maybe caught a little bit off guard and was just kind of like, get in the bag, get in the bag. It's just kind of shoved him in, maybe forgetting in a moment of just being like, oh, he could be invisible. I didn't need to put him in the bag, but he's in the bag at this point.
Do the other members of the group know of the imp's existence?
I think I would have tried to keep it hidden up to this point. I think it maybe would have been less of a big thing. Maybe a couple of people, but like if they maybe caught me from being not too sneaky about trying to discuss things with the imp. But I think I would have tried to downplay and been like, no, it's fine, don't tell the others, it's all good.
Fair enough. So sorry, you said you were digging into your bag to and what were you trying to do now to?
So I'm
speak
just
the
trying to
imp?
kind of like, so I'm just opening it and being like, Rodney, is this a yes or a no? Which one is this?
This
Just kind of like looking at him to see if there's any indication.
this disgusting face looks up out the bag at you, and seeing the parchment and charcoal in your hands, begins to reach for it, and
Kind of hand it in.
he grabs the charcoal and parchment and just eats it immediately. Just
Say, Rodney, we talked about.
okay.
I quickly pull the tie on the bag and just pop it back behind whatever log or thing I'm sitting on. Just kind of slam it on the ground, grab whatever I can pull out that's a little bit, charcoaly, and just scrabble on a little loose bit of paper and hand it to Ingrid as she comes up to me. Just kind of like, he ate it, which means that it will go through him, which means no, and then I'll just put no on it and then give it to Ingrid.
Who ate it?
Oh, I think out loud often. A friend?
Cool. Ingrid, you gather in 4 pieces of parchment with charcoal markings on them, and one large leaf that seems to have been sort of with an X somehow scratched into it.
It's just kind of half torn through, like when you try and write on paper without a proper table.
Yeah. Gotcha. Let's roll a dice to see what the outcome of the vote is. We know what the how Lorben has voted. Let's find out how would we do that with a dice. I guess if I roll let's say it's we'll roll a d6, and on an even number, the motion to continue accepting kill for cash jobs was carried, and on an odd number, the group has voted not to continue accepting them.
Martin, before we do this roll, could Jeb kind of approach what's his name? I'm sorry, Cradley,
Yeah.
and just and say, "Sir, if I could," and I'm going to gesture toward the pillow.
Yeah. Oh, hold on, everybody. That's extremely rude of all of us, and I must apologise on my own behalf. Just because someone is not a member of our cooperative does not mean that we should not hear other voices. I think we all know that it's important to hear from any interested parties, and certainly hands the opinion pillow to you.
I'm gonna take the pillow and go. Well, no, it's just the stone's a little rough. I'm gonna pat it and like set it down and sit on the pillow and go. Go on, carry on.
Oh. Well, nevertheless,
He was feeling uncomfortable?
I've been in
He's
the
got
woods and it's
so
just,
hurt.
it's nice to have some cushion, you know.
It's the
recovering.
feelings pillow.
Cradley kind of initially looked annoyed at this, and then you see his face soften and he stands more upright and says, "What kind of group would we be, friends, if we did not offer more comfort to someone who has been through what this fellow has been through?" And there's just sort of
Yeah.
nodding and general murmuring of, yes, yeah, we should do really, yeah. Right, let's see the outcome of the vote then. So, even numbers, yes, we will continue taking kill for cash jobs, and on an odd number, they won't. It's a 4. They will continue to kill for cash. Isn't that nice? What a good outcome that we all were a big
Yay.
fan of. So, Ingrid, if you'd like to, the group looks at you expectantly. If you'd like to read out the result of the vote to them. So it would have been by 3 votes to 2.
Oh, looks like here, with 3 votes to 2 votes, you will continue to take these jobs. Thank you for giving me these jobs.
Very well. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you helping out with that job. And you see that Kalinda, the elf, stands, and she goes to gesture to take the opinion pillow, and then realizes that Jeb is sitting on it, and just sort of like pulls her hands away and sort of raises her hand. Cradley.
There you go. There you go. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. And she stands nervously holding the opinion pillow and says, "I want to thank each and every one of you for the last 8 months. I have enjoyed my time with this group tremendously. I respect very much the way that each of you go about your business. However, I cannot remain with the group. This decision, as you know from our discussions on the matter, has been a burden to me, and I now respectfully take my leave, and I will leave the group to continue in whatever way it sees best. Thank you." And she hands back
Kalinda, no!
Kalinda's out of here, man. I'm sorry. She looks at Lorben and walks over and rests a hand on Lorben's shoulder and says, "Lorben, I'm going to miss you most of all." Begins to tear up. She says, "These last few months have been..." And she just grabs Lorben for a big hug and just pulls him in.
Yeah, big hug.
Tears stream down Kalinda's face, and she just looks around at the group, and she hands the opinion pillow back to Cradley, stained as it is with her tears. And he, "Oh, well, you know the rules of this group, Kalinda, and we always respect your right to come and go as indeed we do for anyone, as you please, and we wish you well in your endeavours moving forward, and I hope that our paths will cross again in the future." And he bows, and she bows back. Kalinda picks up her pack and lets out a deep sigh, and then heads off to walking eastward, leaving the group behind. Now, Jeb and Ingrid. Ingrid, you've perhaps had a bit more time, but you came across this camp yesterday evening. It's now it's kind of the morning now, and Jeb, you've just woken up in the midst of this. What on earth do you make of all this?
I think Ingrid is just like, wow, this is so much more gentle than my tribe would have been. Like, democracy? We would have fought it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think as I'm becoming more oriented to like what's happening and you know, coming to my senses, I think I'm probably having a similar reaction. Where it's like kind of surprised to see a conversation happening around this more than just like an order or a directive, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Seeing the kind of look on your faces, Cradley smirks a bit and looks at the two of you and says, "I can tell you're not accustomed to groups of bandits operating in this way."
Oop.
First I've seen of it,
Yes,
especially
we
the
are.
bandits.
You know, it's an ugly term, but we're really doing our best to reclaim it. It's one of those. You really shouldn't call us bandits. It's fine for us to say.
Well, if I may be honest with you, I didn't even reckon you were.
Yes, we are something of an oddity, it must be said. But well, this is the group that we decided to run. My brother and I. He gestures at Locke, and over the years we've had many people come and join us. Lorben, how long have you been with us now?
Oh, at least a few months, I think.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, didn't you join right after Kalinda?
Yes, I
Yeah.
believe so.
We were on a bit of a recruitment drive. We lost a couple of people to well, doesn't matter now. The point is, this is how we like to do business. Borgwyn has been with us for a couple of years, and we've just got a good rhythm, a good vibe between us. And when we want to consider a change of approach, or if we've offered a job that is questionable in some way, then we discuss it and we talk it through, as you've seen, and that's the way we like to operate.
It's mighty inspiring.
Yeah.
He looks around at the shrine, as you now know that it is, and in fact, Jeb and Ingrid, give me each of you a perception check, please. It's a bit nicer, isn't it?
Right. It feels better.
Yeah. So an average of 17, that's fine. I think looking around, what you observe about this place is that it's begun to be reclaimed by nature. You can see that there are vines growing, there's weeds sprouting up between the cracks of the stones. The statue at the front of this shrine is crumbling, and anything that really, nothing in there doesn't look to be damaged in some way. Give me also, you know what? No, it doesn't matter. Cradley looks around the place and sort of shakes his head. It's like, it's awful, isn't it, what's becoming of places like this?
Well, what is this place?
Oh, you don't...
It seems quite old.
Oh, extremely old. You don't recognise... He points at the statue. Give me a history check. No, a religion check, Jeb.
All right. Oh, yes.
Actually, you can do this is we'll try this. I've never done this before. You can do a religion check with a DC of 12, or a history check with a DC of 14.
Ooh.
Okay. So both of those stats for me are +3. So
Oh, wow.
Pick the lower DC.
yeah. So yeah, I'll take as Greg said, I'll take the low DC. See what happens.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Oh, it feels
On a-
good.
I bet it does.
I forgot how it felt.
Oh, and now that we've met all three of you, by the way, I can also put up the character cards as well. So there we go. So on a 22, then you study this the statue, and it's hard to make out because of the disrepair, and it's entangled with vines and things like that. But you recognise a symbol on the chest of this figure. It's this upright figure, and you recognise this as a statue depiction of the earth god Zamenos. And yeah, obviously it's in disrepair, and yeah, you recognise that as a depiction of Zamenos.
All right. Would I know of that, or would I assume or know that this is like an old pantheon? Like this was an old gods pre-war, right?
For sure, yeah. This is a god from the pre-war pantheon, and Zamenos was worshipped by. Particularly, I think you would know that Zamenos was, along with Teleos, the sunlight god. You would know that Zamenos was revered a lot by farmers because it was an earth god, but also just those who had an appreciation of the land in general.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I would I'd kind of rub my eyes, like still kind of coming to, so I'd just do sort of like a temple, do that and sort of squint and look up for the first time and go, well, I'll be. Yeah, that there's Zamenos, ain't it?
It is. We stumbled across this place a couple of days ago, and it's been, well, by coincidence or otherwise, it seems to have afforded us some pretty decent shelter. The weather the last couple of days has been pretty dreadful, as you know.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I've been hearing more names and encountering these old gods more than I have in a long time here lately.
Yeah, really.
Curious thing.
That's surprising. We haven't heard a great deal about them ourselves since the war, for obvious reasons. But you still do run into people and sometimes find places like this.
With some hesitancy because of the way it happened last time, I want to say that it's the strangest thing. On our way out of Oakenfort, and I'm going to relay this as well to Ingrid, and by extension Laura, but I'm sure you'll see this too. But I'm going to produce this amulet, and I'm going to tell the story of how we found the body, and and I won't run through the whole thing, but basically
Bring him up
explain
to
kind of
speed.
what happened. Bring him up to speed. Yeah, describe
gotcha.
that. Describe the amulet. Describe why I was in the woods and looking for great wolf. So yeah.
I think upon the first mention of your words, Great Wolf, I'd have gone much closer and started listening with a very poorly hidden kind of level of intensity after that point of your description.
Okay. Yeah. And so yeah, and then being up to speed, I'll say, and we were in mid-gen and we were getting assistance, and I presented this, and I even hesitate to say the name, but it seems to be associated with Asmanos. Does that mean anything to y'all?
Not to me.
Locke, Cradlin, and Borgwyn all react to the name. They all turn and look at you more intently. And Cradley just sort of looks at the floor and it's like, yes, yeah, Asmanos, yeah. I mean, well, they're the tip of the spear, aren't they? It was them first, and looks up at the statue and says, "Looks like Zamenos maybe next."
I'm sorry. I think I'm still coming to a bit. What exactly do you mean by that?
Oh, well, you must know that. He looks at you and sort of, I apologize. It's not right for me to assume anybody's level of knowledge. He kind of looks and goes, "You were around before the war, weren't you?"
I was, but I was young, and my people they tend to keep to themselves. So exploring this world has been a thing of wonder and sights and marvels, but there's still a lot I don't know about just yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, long story short, as you know, since the war, we've all been encouraged, shall we say, to celebrate the glorious light of Corvus. Hail Corvus. But, it remains, it's not a crime to continue to worship Zamenos, or Telios, or Havarnos, or any of the others. All save one. And I guess perhaps that news hasn't reached the dwarves of Iron Glen or the wherever it is you're from.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just from the hall.
Immediately. Like, come on, you can do better. That was.
Was that rude?
I think it was a little bit over the line. I think maybe just a little.
Oh, well, then I unreservedly apologise. It's my fault. I should be more inquisitive. And my fine ratfolk fellow, my goodness, I haven't. Your friend told us your name, but I haven't even properly introduced myself. He extends a hand and forgive me.
Yeah.
It is Jeb, isn't it? I've been.
No,
correctly-
yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can call me Jeb, and no, I take no offense, friend. Yeah, I'm from a place we love to, we just call it the Holler. You know it by a different name, and but we'd happily host you sometime.
Well, it must be a great land indeed to have produced someone as gallant and gracious. I thank you for your forgivenesses, and Lorben, I thank you as also for communicating with me regarding my tone and my manner. I would hate for anyone to think of us as as rude in such a way. So
And I thank you for acting on it so quickly.
And I thank
And
you.
I thank you for thanking Lorben, and then thanking me for thanking you for thanking him. Thank you.
That's 4 levels, everyone.
This guy
That's
gets
close
it.
enough.
This guy gets it. This guy's gonna fit in real well. He
Ingrid just like has a really deep sigh.
yeah, just like the
Just a
fuck.
circle of thank yous orbiting around you like a.
Oh God.
Developing a twitch in the corner of my eye after doing this for like 3 months now. It's just like, oh yeah.
Ingrid, what's the communication style like in Iron Glen? What's the decision making process like in Iron Glen for a comparable situation?
I feel like it's much more of like a, hey, I'm gonna do this thing. Yep, cool. All right, great. Like not much of a discussion.
Yeah.
People are just like, yeah, that's the way it is.
Do they ever hand out little pieces of parchment and charcoal and ask for a vote on ethical matters?
I feel like that is so rare.
Mm.
Like
Are
if
there any
that
pillows
ever
involved?
happens. No pillows. There are no
Yeah.
pillows in all of Iron Glen. None, actually.
Weird. So Cradley kind of takes a moment and sort of tries to remember where he got to, and is like, yes. So anyway, all save one, because of course, the worship of Asmanos was outlawed completely, and his followers were hounded.
Yeah, even uttering the name in the house of Corvus in Midgen, they sent us right out. They
I'm
weren't
not-
even interested in.
I'm not surprised at all. I think you should be cautious in whom you mention that name to. People could get the wrong idea. The hunting of the followers of Asmanos was swift, and I don't know any specifics, but I heard brutal in many cases.
It seemed to be the case.
Just be careful, friend.
Is the mere mention of it enough? Or is it just the worship of Asmanos that would get you
Nah, only-
arrested? Or is it enough to even discuss Asmanos?
I think the word itself is not outlawed, but I think what Cradley is implying is that discussion of it has become a bit taboo because and there tends to be there's a bit of a McCarthyism kind of vibe with it. Like, if you're talking
Yeah.
about it, why would anyone talk about it unless they were involved? You know?
Yeah, it's like, oh, if you're talking about it, you must be a worshiper.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's sort of what he seems to be suggesting. He says, but you know, this is just my opinion. I'm holding the pillow, I guess. So, I worry that followers of Zamenos, and Telios, and Virelos, and all the others may one day see the same fate. Borgwyn the dwarf pops up and says, "Oh, Cradley, may I have the pillow a moment, please?" Of course, my good dwarf," and he hands it over. And Borgwyn holds onto the pillow and says, "I respectfully disagree with our friend Cradley's opinion on the matter. I do not believe that followers of other gods necessarily have anything to fear. My understanding is that Asmanos and the worship of him presented a clear danger to the entire land, and that's why Asmanos followers in particular were hunted. I thank you for hearing my thoughts on the matter." "Of course, dear Cradley, and we thank you for your interjection. My personal belief is that the danger posed by the followers of Asmanos was overstated or exaggerated to give the Senate sufficient cover for their desire to remove them."
Oh, Martin, just kind of out of the game for just a second.
Yeah.
I think enough time has passed, and I'm sorry. We can do this in game, but I'm trying to remember, like, what place in the pantheon did Asmanos?
He was the god of
Hold.
god of the stars.
God of this. Okay, I thought that was the case, but I wanted to make sure that I remembered that properly. Thank you.
I needed that as well, so thank you.
No worries.
The feeling pillows have rubbed off on me. I'm thanking everyone for everything.
Yeah, I was like, and I'll give you the pillow back. Thank you.
I'm in the character.
And we thank you, Grig, for thanking Phil for asking that question, okay?
Again, nosebleed.
So,
Feel dizzy.
Cradley says, "So, I hope I'm proven wrong, but that's my worry, is that eventually we may see worship of all the old gods stamped out across Pleiadian."
Seems terrible.
just gonna
Seems
Snatch
seems
the feeling
extreme.
pillow. I feel that would suck. So just give it back.
I thank you, Lorman, for your interjection. Do be careful with the opinion pillow, please. It was made, as you know, by my grandmother.
I'm sorry, I sat on it. It's a very nice little pillow.
It may be sat on. I just think snatching is, not really in keeping with our general thing, is it? I think we need to just calm down.
You're quite right, Craigley, and I apologize. Thank you for... Oh, you go.
I hear your apology, Lorben, and I accept your apology, and I thank you for it.
Yes.
He stands there expectantly looking at you, waiting for another thank you for accepting the apology. He just holds your eye contact for a few seconds, just eh?
I think I'm gonna maintain it and try and use this as that little moment of just not fully pushing the boundaries, but just kind of oh, it's been a whole 8 hours this day so far. Oh.
Watching this back and forth and how long it's taking, I think Jim's gonna kind of, sort of a little kind of slap his legs, but what kind of targets do y'all tend to take on? I know the vote today was about killing for cash. Who do y'all typically do this kind of work for?
Well, we work for all sorts, and at the moment, I should perhaps make clear in case it's not, the kill for cash discussion was purely in relation to people. So we do take some hunting jobs, which is why we're here, actually. We're trying to gather some wolf pelts for a fur trader contact of ours.
Oh, I see. All right. Well, you're in the right place. There's an awful lot of them.
Don't we know it? We've picked up a few so far, but we're required to take back 30 in total, so it's a big job.
Yes, and we were especially hopeful to find very large wolf pelts. If we could. I have a preference for the great wolf pelts. If I could find
that's what I'm here looking for too. What do you know about Great Wolf?
I don't know anything.
Is that right?
I know the word great and wolf, and it was revealed to be smeared in feces on the side of a tent. I have no information.
I found it scrawled, as I said, I'm sure you remember me saying I found it scrawled by a dead man on the street. So, goodness gracious. Surely it can't just be a big wolf, right? Something's wild about this.
I don't know, man.
Lorben just totally lost.
Almost hanging on by a thread.
The group descends
this
into
is the best lead he's had since the word was revealed to him, and he is clinging on with all he can.
The group descends into a kind of thoughtful quiet while this is considered. Ingrid, because you have what is wrong with my fucking words today? What's the word? It's on the fucking character. It's on the character sheet. Proficiency in perception. Could you, Ingrid, give me a perception roll, please? And there will be different outcomes depending on this at 10 and 15.
Ingrid, because you do the see things good.
I do. I have the eyeballs to see the things.
So close to 15.
It was, wasn't it?
Close.
Yeah.
In this moment of quiet, you, Ingrid, suddenly hear the sound of a stick being snapped in two, coming from outside of the shrine.
I would whip myself around and kind of reach for my axe and be like, I heard something.
Not only do you hear the sound of a stick snapping, but as you whip round to the what you think is the source of the sound, you briefly see, peering out from between a couple of bushes, a face.
See
which
something.
then, not a second later, this face disappears and you can hear the sound of something rushing off into the distance, into the bushes.
Oh, I heard something and I saw a face and now it's gone and it's going that way. Yeah, should I go chase it? I think I'm gonna go look.
Do we need to take a vote real quick if we're gonna chase it?
Do we have time for that? He's running. He's out of here.
I'm gonna like look and see if Cradley's like paying attention to us or not to defer to him on the phone. Just do it. You're doing.
Crady's like,
He's not
we don't
looking
need
away.
we don't need to take votes for everything. It's more larger matters of policy. You know, feel free to, you know, if you wish to pursue it. Lorben, go with her. You're the best at being, you know, tracking and sneaky out of us.
I am. You're right. And then I'll go
Definitely
with.
not cheap. So like that would help a lot. Yeah, it's that way.
Yeah.
I follow your lead.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm right on your heels as well.
Give me, as you kind of reach the bushes around the clearing. Jeb, give me either nature or survival, please.
Okay.
Nature's once again. We'll have a DC of 10 on nature and 12 on survival.
Okay. I'm gonna go again with a high stat. My nature is 5. So let's do that.
14. Lovely.
Okay.
You reach the spot where Ingrid has guided you to, where she claims to have seen this disturbance and hears disturbance from. And you look in the, as you look and peer into the bushes and see the soil on the other side, damp as it is from the rain that has been coming down over the last couple of days. You do see some tracks that
Okay.
appear to be hand and footprints of a person. Not clear really whether they are human, elf, dwarf, etc., but certainly a humanoid being. However, there are hand and footprints.
Uh-huh. Are they spaced in such a way that it's like somebody like running on hand and foot, or
Yes,
moving
that's
way?
that's exactly what it looks like.
Oh. Okay, so I'll point that out and I'll be like, right here. Yeah, it's right there. There's hand and feet. Looks like a something that normally be walking on 2, running on 4.
That's weird.
That's the darndest thing.
Yeah.
That's
They're going
very-
off in that direction.
That's quite disconcerting.
Mm-hmm.
I think we better follow them.
I agree.
Morbin, I don't know if you do too much with that knife, but I'd make sure you're ready just in case.
Yes, I tend not to use the knife, but I have other methods of defending myself.
Oh, very good. All right. Ingrid, I reckon you're all right.
I'm good. Yeah. That should be fine.
As I look at the axe, it's like bigger than my own
Like
head.
shiny.
Yeah. It's just like
Are
eclipsing
you
is all I can
good?
see. Yeah, all I can see is, oh, I'm ready. Yes, ma'am. And I kind of juggle a little vial of liquid.
Cool.
So the group of you follow these tracks away into the into the undergrowth. And after a few minutes, come to another kind of small clearing where you now see. Give me. We'll do a group nature roll, please. Everybody, give me nature, and we'll take the average.
Alright. I'm trying to roll in the wrong place. Just a flat D20 for me.
It's a -1.
Not
So
great.
That might not have sent to anyone, so I'm gonna click the button.
yeah, I don't
Alright, roll
see
that again.
it. Oh, there it is.
Oh,
Oh, cool.
Oh my god.
rubbish. Okay, not great, honestly. So you come out into this this clearing, and you can
My first
see
roll.
the. Was that your first roll? Sorry, I've been leaving
Yeah,
off
that was
the
my
rolls a
first
bit.
roll so far, I think.
Oh no.
Things can only get better. The only way is up.
Nature? What is it?
That's right.
I stole Jeb's luck.
You come out into this clearing, and there is plainly visible to you a cave that's set into this sort of low cliff, this kind of bluff. And you see the tracks that you've been following, but they become intermingled with other tracks. On an average of 6, you're not sure what these other tracks are, but there are quite a few of them, and they just go in and out of this cave. The other thing that's apparent is there are a couple of carcasses on the ground outside the cave.
How old do they seem to be?
There's a mix. A couple of them look like they've been there a while. They've been stripped of any flesh or matter, and it's just bones. There's the carcass of a fox that is just seems to have only been there a day or two. Maybe there's still some matter on it.
All right. Yeah, as we're basically bumbling through the woods, I'm feeling like, oh darn it, my noggin's still a little shook up. I lost the tracks, but surely they'd gone in this cave, right?
Would make sense.
Yeah, like something stomping
go
around
in?
here.
That
guess it's
feels
worth
like a
looking
bad
in.
idea.
I look around, it's like it does, but I don't really know. It seems like the most viable option, don't it?
I have maybe a way of giving us some insight into what's in the cave first.
That could help.
But
Whatever you can do, sure.
Don't be alarmed. I'm just gonna unsling my bag and just open
I
it. And be like,
I take
"This is
a
Rodney."
noticeable step back. I'm like, all right. Yep.
"This is Rodney. He's a bastard, man, and I hate him.
He seems nice.
He
Rodney.
has his uses. Don't get your fingers near him. Okay, Rodney, I need you to go invisible, and I need you to go into the cave, and let us know if there's anything scary. Okay? That's a good thing. That means, I think it means yes, or it means he needs the toilet. Sometimes both. And then I'm gonna open the bag a bit more and kind of try and pour him out.
Shake him out. You see this.
Yeah.
You just Jeb and Ingrid. You see this imp just fucking fall out of this bag in a crumpled heap and sort of like, and sort of like take a second to sort of right himself. He kind of like rolls over in a very awkward way, and he looks up at Lorben and just like runs over to the nearest tree and takes a massive shit, just like the shit that comes out is like really, it's like rock hard. It's like just a ball of just dark, like
I've been
like,
trying
like
to
a
get
like a
into
metal
Warzone.
ball, you know.
Old Cannon Rodney.
Like Nibbler from Futurama.
That's
Yeah.
exactly, mate. That is exactly what I had in mind.
Yes.
Very heavy, the shits. Um,
Boring into the ground.
Does he look like he's got any interest in going into the cave after taking his shit? Is
Yeah,
this he's just going to take a shit, or is
Rodney's
this
Rodney's not done. He runs over to the fox carcass and sort of like begins to sniff it. It's like, and then like with it, just leans in with a claw and just rips a square of flesh away and just like and shoves it in his mouth, and then just looks at you with fox meat hanging out of his mouth and just sneezes and turns invisible as he sneezes. Goes, and he's gone. And then
my boy?
you hear the soft pattering on the ground, which then begins to echo as the noise now begins to come from the cave.
Fully capable of flight, but he still chooses to run along the floor.
Hell yeah! Hey, he doesn't have to fly everywhere. That would be crazy.
Right.
And you just from within the cave you just hear a lot of like scrabbling around and well, actually that's a good point, Lorben. Do you like when Rodney goes invisible? Can you hear him as well, or is he still audible?
So I have the ability to basically perceive things through his senses. So I can, as an ability, see through his eyes and hear through his ears. However, I suspect that is a deeply unsettling and uncomfortable experience at multiple psychological and emotional levels. So I think I kind of maybe tend to be like, can I just work it out based on what I'm hearing? And then as a very last resort, my eyes are going to roll back. They'll kind of glaze over, and then I'll go into
Okay, so
see through his senses kind of way.
So just to clarify, you're not doing that presently, right? You're waiting
I'm
for him
not
to
doing it
report back
presently.
in the first instance.
I desperately prefer to not see through his eyes. The world is awful.
Something better left to the imagination.
Yeah.
A minute or
Jeb
so
watching
later.
this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Jeb watching this is just like wide-eyed and a little bit shocked, and he's gonna go, "Lorben, what is?
Yes.
How did you get? Why? Just why? Really? Just I'm wondering why."
I would genuinely love to tell you in more detail another time, though perhaps I think that might be a long story for first meetings. So suffice to say, I made a terrible, terrible deal, and I am a prisoner of the decisions of the man I was 24 years ago. So
Aren't we all?
we do our best.
Sure.
Keep it in game.
Yeah, that's,
What decision did I make when I was 5?
you know what you did.
Yeah.
Good. A couple of minutes later, then you begin to hear the padding of feet and the scrabbling and the snarling begin to draw closer again, and emerging into the sunlight, Rodney sneezes himself back visible again.
I think I instinctively hand him a handkerchief.
We do.
He eats the handkerchief. Just.
It's fine. I buy them in bulk these days.
Goat.
And he holds his hands out as if to offer you something, Lorben.
Oh God! I hold my hands out. For
He
him
drops
to put
a-
whatever it is.
He drops a big wolf shit into your hands.
Oh,
Yeah.
friends. Yes, Rodney, you can get in the bag. We have wolves. I'm just gonna. Lovely wolves. There's big wolves. Or wolves with a full tummy.
Rodney, before he gets in the bag, kind of looks a bit frustrated. He's like, picks up a nearby stick, and with surprising precision, draws on the ground with a stick the face of a wolf, and then rapidly whips a circle around it and crosses through it, like a no entry sign over a wolf's face.
So it ain't a wolf then?
Is it not a wolf, Rodney?
He pulls at his eyes. It's like he takes the stick and draws the shit next to another wolf face with a tick. Then he draws the cave entrance, and it's really good. This is for a stick and dirt drawing. This is surprisingly detailed, good shading. He draws the cave entrance, and then draws another wolf face with a no entry sign next to it. There's a lot of drawing.
Oh, I think
Very
I
good
understand. I believe he's telling us there is wolf droppings, but no wolf.
Rodney
right?
clambers up your leg and up your body and just licks the side of your face massively. It sort of burns a little.
Yeah, definitely some kind. It's not great for the skin.
And then he jumps back into the bag. He just does a head first dive into the bag from there. And he pulls it closed himself. He
Rodney, out!
Well, that's Rodney, everyone. I'm glad you all got to meet him. Please,
He's a charmer.
please don't tell Locke, Cradley, Kalinda, or Borgwin about it.
Well, I'm going to be telling Kalinda. She's gone, man.
Kalinda's gone. Well, we don't know where she went, but please don't tell anyone about it, because yeah, you guys have been really cool about it, if I'm honest.
It's very interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely ain't never seen anything like that before, but you seem all right, Lorben. So, all right.
I appreciate it, Jeb.
Well, so if I'm understanding correctly, that there are signs of wolves in there, but no actual wolves inside. Is that right?
Yes.
Should we go in and have a little look around?
Just a quick thought. Can I roll a perception check just to see if there's a wolf just watching us? Because I feel like being at the mouth of a wolf cave, which doesn't have a wolf in
Just
it,
standing
is
there.
like a bad place to be.
Yes,
Just in the entrance,
I
we are
would-
all missing
yeah.
it somehow.
I would love you to give me a perception check.
Lovely. Let me just give you that sweet -1 perception check. Oof.
Doesn't look like there's any wolves, mate.
Dang.
Yes,
Lorben believes there are no wolves around.
But that's what Rodney said. There was no wolves.
I don't see an issue with going in the cave unless you have any objections. So
Just take out my axe. I'm like, whatever's in there. I'm ready. I can't be sneaky though. I'm not great at that. So if we want to be
Yeah.
sneaky, we might want to if Jeb, I don't remember if you're particularly sneaky.
I can be pretty sneaky when I need to be.
Okay.
I do think
Like,
stealth may
okay.
not be required for an empty cave at this moment, though.
You're probably right.
Yeah, we may just need to keep an eye on our behind, make sure nothing comes in behind us.
Yes.
Ingrid, point of interest: does your axe have a name?
Oh,
Ooh.
And if you want to think about that and tell me another time, that's fine. But
I do want to think about that. I'm making.
I just think it's something that
I
she's
feel like it
obviously
should.
very attached to, you know. So
Yeah.
it just crossed my mind.
Yeah.
Would this be the same axe you've had since I first met Ingrid, like 50 years
For
ago?
sure. Yeah.
Oh,
this
yeah,
is like
yeah.
I've been maintaining this axe. It's like my favorite axe.
It's
Yeah,
the
I
same
think
axe
that
I've
makes a
had.
lot of sense that it
I've
would
had the
be
same axe for 50 years. 7 new handles, 12 new heads.
No, it's fine.
Axe of Theseus.
Oh
Fine.
man.
It's like one of those old tools that lasts forever. It's just really good craftsmanship. Okay,
Oh yeah.
Hey, those dwarves know their
What?
stuff.
they do.
Knocking on it. This dwarven right here. Bang bang.
This thing right here, Dwarven.
So, are we
Fit
going
so many
in?
decapitated goblins in this bad boy.
Yeah.
I guess we go in, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I presume Ingrid would be taking point.
I'll take. Yeah, let's go. Like walk on in.
Not to like push you ahead, but I've got to like push the person with the big axe ahead of me.
I figured either I'd be in front or behind. So yeah.
Makes the most sense. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like Ingrid's probably had a lifetime of this, to be honest. So probably, you know. So
Old hat.
Weedy little people trying to cower behind you.
does anyone not have dark vision?
I was just about to ask that. I definitely do.
I do.
Too.
Yeah.
Everyone does.
Okay.
Okay, cool. That makes
Torches are fun.
honestly, it makes my life easier. So as you step down, walk down into this cave, it's not very deep. A little bit of light is actually still penetrating from the cave mouth, but it definitely gets dimmer pretty quickly. And what? Yes,
I'm sorry,
go ahead.
Martin. May I also? I apologize. I was just looking over my traits and I realized that I have magical tinkering, like I'm gonna pick up a little stone off the ground and sort of take out a little tiny little thing and just sort of dribble it on it and kind of rub it around it. And as I do, like open my hands and it is gonna be glowing in a 5-foot radius of light.
Lovely. So we've got
And,
a lot of little torch as well.
Yes.
Great.
I'm gonna hand that to and I'll hand that to Ingrid just to like kind of put some light out in front of us a little bit as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Here, use this.
Thanks.
Stepping forward then into the gloom as you do, the faint light from this stone, as well as a little coming from the cave mouth, as it kind of goes down like a tunnel for maybe 20 feet, and then opens out into a kind of wide chamber, naturally formed. It's just a big hole in the ground, basically. And as well as copious amounts of wolf droppings, you see that there are signs in here of habitation by some kind of humanoid being. There is like a small table and some other and a chair and some other like possessions and other things scattered around that would realistically only belong to a person. And on the wall there are some crude kind of cave paintings.
Can I
Let's have a look at
inspect
them,
them in any way? Oh yeah, can we?
Yeah.
Lorben, give me a what would it be? I'm trying to think. This be investigation or history.
I think
probably
in either case, I'd probably ask the man that just through some kind of weird science made a torch rock and just kind of like call him over for a little bit of help, because it's just like I know my shortcomings. Can you come have a look at this with me?
I'll light it up for you.
That is a fantastic idea. Jeb, give me a history or an investigation roll with advantage, please.
Okay. Oh, fantastic! All right.
Teamwork.
Did it, guys?
So here's
We
the-
won D&D.
Yes, finally.
We worked together.
17.
Oh, that advantage.
Well,
Oh God, yeah. Thank God for that. Yeah, because the first one was real bad. Yeah, so 17.
You, Jeb, look at these paintings, and what they depict is it's clearly what's being depicted is a scene of violence, and two figures in the paintings are being attacked by wolves. And these cave paintings are crude, but you could swear that the two figures being depicted under attack look an awful lot like Bishop Morningfall and Magistrate Bass from Midgin, who you met.
Is that right? Wow. Yeah, so I'll kind of, like, after Lorben calls me up, I'll sort of be, like, scruffing at the beard under Jeb's chin. And just saying, well, that can't be. You know, as rough as these are, that is a spitting image of a couple folks I met in Midgin. So Martin, and remind me, one of them was over the Church of Corvus, right? You said it was
Bishop
Bass?
Morningfall
Is that
is
the one?
Bishop Morningfall is the person who shut you out of the House of Corvus when you asked about Asmanos. Magistrate Bass was the doddery fellow who nobody liked and wouldn't listen to,
Thank you.
who was the de facto leader of the ostensible leader of Midgin, although nobody respected him.
Thank you. Okay, yeah. So I'll point without touching it. I'll say, that right there is a spitting image of Midgin's magistrate, and that was over the Church of Corvus in town and kicked me out when I mentioned Asmonos. This is the strangest thing. It looks like they're being attacked by wolves here.
Does it look like they're winning the fight in the depiction, or is this like they're just being torn apart?
It looks like they're being torn to shreds.
Right, cool.
Yeah, this is gruesome.
Did you like them?
Well, one of them was the magistrate, he seemed to be more of a figurehead than anything. He was pretty low down and not too keen on helping us much or doing anything. And the bishop, I hardly got a word in edgewise. She was a bit cold, and I came in just asking about the history, the same way I presented to your group, and just curious, asking for questions, and even just the utterance. She sent me packing out the door. Said, "Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you."
Not her exact
Given
words.
what we heard,
More or less.
given what we heard in the camp, I think that might be easily explained, given the circumstances around that god.
I think you're right.
What would they be doing here?
I think that's also a good question, but I can't help but feel like we may have found a den or a previous den, a great wolf.
I mean, a wolf wouldn't make these kind of paintings, would they?
Well, I don't reckon they would, but I might be going out on a limb here. But, the footprints we seen when we entered the woods, it was a person's hands and a person's feet. It wasn't no paws. But I'm wondering if maybe there's some kind of shape changer. Ingrid, Ingrid, when you saw the face, what did it look like? Was it a person? Was it an animal?
That's true. I didn't actually ask what the face looked like, Martin.
You didn't get a great look because they took off very quickly. What you saw was a piercing pair of eyes. And definitely not wolf eyes. It was difficult to make out more than that.
Okay. Yeah, I just saw its eyes mostly. I couldn't really get a good look at its face. didn't seem wolf-like, but
The
not
eyes,
100%.
you remember that the eyes were kind of yellow.
Oh, they were, I think, yellow though.
I hesitate to say that they might be friendly with us, but until we figure out more about this meteorite that struck the town, we may have some aligned ideas. I'm not really sure just yet.
Be nice.
I mean, would it leave the wolf leavings, or do you think potentially it's got a pack of some kind?
This is all pure conjecture, but I'm starting to wonder if perhaps it may surround itself with wolves.
I don't like this cave.
I'm a little concerned myself as well.
Yeah.
Your
But this
Can-
is curious.
your concerns may be well founded, because at that very moment, the light coming into the cave is shaded, and where you can see the shaft of light coming down through the tunnel, there is unquestionably a figure blocking out a good portion of that light. And I think that would be a great place for us to take a few minutes break. As we rejoin our characters who had entered this wolf cave in full knowledge of what it was, frankly. Well, I say that in some knowledge of what it was, but perhaps not expecting what they found, which was a space that appears to have been occupied indeed by wolves, but perhaps also by something else. Judging from the cave paintings and the other kind of signs of humanoid occupation. That's a bit much, isn't it, that music? Oh, that's fucking hell. That's properly creepy. Let's try this instead. What's this?
Put the Marble Race music on.
You mean the Buffy the Vampire Slayer theme, yeah? Good.
Lone of the Vampire.
Is this... Okay, that's better. While investigating, they hadn't really got around. You know, there's certainly still other things in this cave to be seen, but before our group had an opportunity to do so, they become aware of a figure at or near the entrance to the cave. Blocking out some of the light coming in. Initial reactions? Anyone want to do something crazy?
I think if no one else is, I might call out just like a hello.
Okay. That's all you.
The
Like, not really knowing what, like, they've got human hands, they could paint, they live in a cave with wolf shit. I don't know what level of diplomacy is available, is it?
He's like a regular, normal person. It's fine.
They've got hands, they can do diplomacy,
Yeah.
right? That's how it works.
Sure.
the sound you hear come back is the sound of a howl, but when you listen to it, like, no roll required. That's not the howl of a wolf. It's a howling sound, but not one that a wolf would make. However, a couple of seconds later, you do see that virtually all of the remaining light is blocked out from the entrance and you watch that shadow change as two other things block off more of the light.
They're multiplying.
Shit.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that's not good.
I think Jeb would kind of like look at Ingrid and say to kind of like maybe like be ready, but
Mm-hmm.
raise that light and lower your axe.
Okay.
Like
All right.
we don't want to. We want to let them know we're here, but we also want to let them know that we're not really looking for a fight. At least not right
No.
now. But be ready.
All right. I'll put my axe like in my holster, but like easily accessible,
Hmm.
and just kind of offer up the light.
You hear the sound of someone or something walking down into the tunnel. And then they stop just as the tunnel kind of curves around a little into the opening space where the three of you are. And then, thanks to dark vision and this faint glowing stone, you see a face peer around the corner at kind of waist height and peer out from behind rocks. And Ingrid, you recognize the yellow eyes that you saw previously. And they kind
I'll
of
lean over to Jeb and be like, "Yes, I think that's the person."
you see them kind of lean out briefly and look at you and then pull their head back behind the rocks, and you just hear, "Who you?"
We
Who you?
Yeah. Now we're here. We don't mean any harm. But we were told to seek out Great Wolf. Are you Great Wolf?
Why are you here?
That's a great question. We
Exploring.
saw you.
Yeah. Now, I'm trying to see. Thank you for giving me a second. I'm trying to think of like the best way to relay as much information quickly. We've all seen your signs and messages saying that we should find you. And I think it has to do with the worship of the old gods. And we have some questions I think you might be able to answer.
You hear a snarling sound and like heavy breathing, like panting. And then the voice comes back and says, "You come to kill me!"
No, sir.
Oh.
We don't mean you any harm. You might even recognize me, and I'm going to kind of step more forward to where that light will illuminate my face and everything. So just trying to be as open and like, like hands up, like not holding my bottles and, flasks and things. Like I'm just like unarmed. And say, you might recognize me. I reckon your wolves might recognize me as well. I've tried to find you, but I've encountered many wolves in these woods, and but tried to honor your territory.
Come closer, just you.
And I look back at Lorben and Ingrid and be like, it's all right, and I will. I'll like kind of very, yeah.
Just like
you
sliding behind Ingrid.
The light thing.
Yeah, and I'll take it and I'll kind of elevate it so I'm like really cast, or hold it down actually so it's like illuminating me from below. And yeah, I will kind of slowly and cautiously approach.
The face reemerges from around the corner cautiously and looks at you, Jeb, and then looks past you to where Ingrid and Lorben are standing to make sure that only you've come. The face that you can see, and I think it's will be visible to all three of you, is that of an elf. But the head is at waist height, and as they very timidly kind of crawl out from behind the corner, there are several things that you notice about this person. Their clothes are rags, just like dark blue rags, though they do wear a like a necklace, like a pendant that's kind of fixed tightly, clasped tightly around the neck, almost like a collar with a jewel set in it. Their hair is matted and kind of pulled back and almost like not exactly dreadlocked, but like pulled back behind them in a way to sort of manage it. Their teeth and nails are sharpened, and their nails are long. She crawls out from around this corner, and the last thing that you notice is that sewn into the kind of the back of her clothing, her rags, is a wolf's tail. She crawls cautiously over to Jeb and sniffs. Just like gets up close, like.
Yeah. I just like not moving at all, just kind of letting it. But also, yeah, but no sudden movement at all. I'm kind of a statue in this moment. A little bit alarmed, but also a little bit. I think maybe a little sympathetic.
She's kind of like softly growling as she sort of like moves around you and says. Yeah. She looks up at Jeb. It's like. Only people who come here come to kill, come to hunt.
I imagine you've encountered quite a few. And I apologize. I must say, I'm quite sorry for our intrusion in your domicile. My name is Jeb. This here's Ingrid, and this here Lorben, and we are all here on a united effort. Like none of us mean you harm. You have my word, and I'm true to my word.
Give me persuasion, please.
Okay. Okay. Fuck my life. I hate these dice.
He's back, baby.
Yeah.
Cursed.
Looks like being shit at rolling dice is back on the menu, boys.
She kind of recoils from you and backs up a couple of paces and just like eyes you very suspiciously. Just like. People always come to kill. Maybe you come to steal.
No, ma'am. I promise we don't. And I'm sorry. I know this is an alarming thing for you to come to what I reckon is your home and see us in here creeping around. But I must say, I think I recognize those figures in that drawing of yours on the wall.
She looks over at it. You know them? They send you? You're friends with them?
No, they were our
They sent you to
enemies
kill
as well.
me?
They did not. I'm going to kind of take a step back and hands up again. I say, but it seems you drove them out, and they drove me out too. We went to them for help, and they would not help us. And so I started. Now I'm just going to relay, like I'm going to say, like I spent a month in your woods, looking for you, but not for harm, but for help.
What do you want help with?
Something has happened to a town south of here called Oakenford. Do you know of it?
You see her kind of look at the floor and trying to sort of mouth the word to herself. Oakenford. She looks-
Martin, question.
Go.
Would I know what Oakenfort was called before the war?
Oakenford has always been Oakenford. It didn't change.
It's
because of the
always
war.
been okay. That's even better. Okay, 'Cause I want to appeal to that if I can.
She sort of looks. You can sort of see the wheels turning in her head. She's like, Oakenford. She looks up. Yes, I know it.
Something came out of the sky and destroyed a big part of it. Hurt a lot of people that mean a lot to me. And on our way to find relief for the people that survived, we found a body that had scrawled in the earth, "Find Great Wolf." And they were carrying this. And I'm gonna like make a big show of reaching into my pocket to like produce this to show that I'm not like going for a weapon, right? And I'm just gonna hold it in my two hands, kind of out for her to sniff or see.
The amulet, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm a little cautious about doing this, but I feel like I'm trying to be as open about what I'm doing as possible.
She comes closer and sniffs the amulet. She points at the symbol on the amulet and looks as if she's about to say something, and then her attention moves to Lorben, and she holds his gaze a moment. She moves over and she looks up and sniffs.
I'm gonna slowly reach a hand out to kind of allow her to sniff, and also try and move the backpack just a little bit off the back of me. Just try and like push one scent and not the other, you know.
She looks at you with a strange look and then moves across the cave to where the table is, and in amongst some of the things scattered on it, there are various pieces of parchment. And she kind of rummages through them and finds a drawing. And the drawing depicts a group of people hunting wolves. And the drawing does kind of... You sort of can see it over her shoulder. And she stares at it and studies it and then looks back at you. You hunt wolves!
Not currently.
She's like, don't know this word. Say again.
No. Sorry. Mistakes.
Mistakes. Looks at Ingrid. She's carrying axe.
To protect myself. I'm not here for you to kill you.
These are her claws.
Much.
You want to see
To
my
protect
claws? And she almost like grins. And you see this sharpened fangs smile that is revealed.
They're lovely.
Yeah. I'm sure it takes a long time to maintain those claws.
Ingrid and Lorben
Mate,
both
just
give me a flat charisma check. Let's see how all this is going down.
Oh.
Let's see if she likes this or not.
Great.
Ingrid trying to be like, girl, where did you get your nails did? Like,
Okay, all right.
Okay.
It worked apparently.
well,
We are so charismatic.
Phil, do you want to watch and see how it's done, mate? Like, just.
How wrong. I'm just happy to see somebody rolling well here.
I started with a 1, man. Like I'm in the same boat.
Oh, it happens. Some days the dice just don't like you. It's the game.
Yep.
Makes it interesting for sure.
Her body language seems to soften a little. She puts down the drawing and kind of walks back and kind of sits facing the three of you, and she sits like a dog would sit. She sits with her hind legs, you know, and she looks at Jeb and says, "So you're trying find Great Wolf?"
Yes, ma'am. Have we found her?
She looks confused and goes, "No."
Are you not Great Wolf?
"No, but I know it. You want to see Great Wolf?"
Yes,
Very much
please.
so.
"I show you. Come."
Yeah, I'll kind of step back to allow her to go in front, and yeah, we'll follow, or I'll follow.
She
Follow too.
walks back out the mouth of the cave. I guess it's kind of like midday now.
Would I know whether the rest of my bandits, basically, whether the rest of my bandit group would be likely to go hunting today, or would I not be sure one way or the other? Do I know what the agenda for the day was, so to speak?
I think it had not yet been. No detailed plan had been set forth for the day. However, you were all out there hunting wolves, so
Yeah.
I don't know that it required a daily agenda so much as, that's what they're there to do, right? They probably don't take days off while on the job. Put it that way.
True. I think I'd probably pass the word up the line to Jeb, who seems to have the best relationship with the wolf elf.
I don't know. She seemed to quite like that whole nails talk that you two were.
We're just girls being girls, you know. It relates somehow.
I think, in that case, I'd be probably trying to kind of give any suggestions I can to steer us away from any of the hunting areas that I may have remembered on this route, of just kind of maybe just if we could just go a little bit to the left of these trees, just in case, kind of just trying to hope we don't stumble into the bandits who might just try and intercept us or something by mistake.
Oh yeah, of course. Yes, sir. It's a good idea.
Just I don't want our new friend to hate us.
Lorben, give me a nature check.
Oh no. Sure.
Cool. I think the point of that roll.
I am in the woods, so I'm not going to see signposts saying this is where we do our hunting.
Wolf hunting area. But I mean that's fine. So you're doing your best to try and steer clear of those areas. How do you think Lorben would do that without arousing the suspicion of your new elf friend?
I think very much just whisperings between Ingrid and Jeb of anything that comes to mind, of just I'm sure we hid in that bush for 3 hours and didn't find anything once. So if we could just go around these other trees, that would be just, if you can maybe try and get her to go a little bit to the left, that would be good.
You'll recall that I mentioned a couple of other shapes blocking out some of the light as well, and indeed as you exited the cave, there are 3 wolves there that snarl upon seeing you, and then
Yeah, I suppose I'm jumping ahead.
no, that's fine for us to be going on with though. But before that setting off, your elf friend, you see, you kind of watch and listen as she makes these very strange sounds for an elf to be making, but is obviously communicating with the wolves, and they kind of pace back and forth looking at the 3 of you, but ultimately their body language also softens, and the so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 of you in total.
Do they look like actual wolves, or do they look like our new friend?
Straight up regular wolves.
Okay.
Just to clarify, so our new friend, when you said their head was waist height, that's because they were on all 4s. That's not
Correct. Yeah, that's how
not,
they.
Okay, cool.
And
Got
they
you, got
continue. They continue to walk in this way.
Yeah.
So
they're just some kind of. That's definitely a better word, but feral is some kind of like wild person, basically.
are they?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Ask
Well,
them.
that's open question, but that's like visibly that's
Yeah.
the best I can make sense of it, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to know more about their
I think as
lives,
we are. Yeah, I think as we're exiting the cave, I will say, like, what can we call you, ma'am?
she wheels round and is like, She sort of makes a noise, and then you can see that this happens a few times. She can see this look of frustration on her face, like she's trying to remember something, and then she has a moment of realization and says, wait here. She goes back into the cave, and you can hear from within things being rummaged around. And she emerges holding a book. And this book looks old and weathered. It's not in great condition. And she opens it and kind of flips through all the pages all the way to the back. Really like haphazardly. And then just places the book on the ground in front of her, and you can just see some words that have been written in there, and she points at one with her finger and follows along with it, and sort of with an effort is like Valine.
Beline?
She looks up at you with it, and it's almost like wide-eyed, like excitement almost. It's like she points at the book, and sure enough, you can see where she's pointing. It's written VELLINE.
Right. V-line. Beline, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
There's a couple of other things written there that you can see. One of them is the word Midgin.
Okay.
One of them is the word Bass. One of them is the word Morningfall.
Is this a book that she's offering to us, or just holding to point a page out at the moment?
She, at the moment, she has it laid on the ground in front of her. And it's just and as I say, she had turned to the very back page where a few words have been just kind of scrawled.
I think I might step forward and just be like, Feline, could we look at this book on the journey?
She looks down at it and says, "You know what? Do I want to roll? Do I want to roll?" She did like your compliment about her claws. Give me persuasion with advantage, please.
Ooh, I'll take it. And alley-oop.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
She
yes.
Yeah, boy.
she delicately closes the book and lifts it up and passes it towards you, Lorben, and says, "Please be careful. It was my mother's."
Of course.
She hands you the book, and now looking at the front cover for the first time, you see that although it's damaged and a little bit difficult to read, the book is titled Deities of Pleiadian, a treatise on the gods that shape our lives, by the writer Tillis Trelane.
Tillis Trelane.
Yeah, do you want me to write some of this in chat? Here we go.
I think
That'd be great.
Putting
I'll
it
spell
in,
it all wrong, but I think I got it.
There you go. It's in the Twitch chat. Is the name Tillis Trelane?
Good stuff.
I wasn't too far off. No, I was way off.
So yeah, the book is titled Deities of Pleiadian, and then a subheading.
I think I'm probably still focused on the nature, so I'll be giving it to probably Jeb or Ingrid to kind of like peruse and see if they can make any sense of it with their knowledge rather than my own.
Who wants to
sure.
look at it?
Yeah. Well, I'll give it to Jeb because I'm not really like I'm not good with the history and the.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
take
not
it.
too
Book
book
learning.
smart either.
I ain't never
We're
been
people
too
of the
much for book
world.
learning.
Jeb, give me an investigation roll, please.
Okay, sure thing. Okay, 15.
As you kind of flick through the books, you have a look at there's a contents page at the start that essentially it looks like this book is broken up into chapters all about each of the gods of Pleiadian, and each chapter focuses on a different god. Are there any gods that you're particularly interested in knowing anything about?
Well, I think first on my mind would be Asmonos.
You follow the contents page to the to where it indicates for the chapter on Asmanos,
Mhm.
and find that all the pages on Asmanos have been ripped out of the book.
Motherfucker.
Interesting. Okay. I'll be honest, I'm
Dang.
partly not surprised by that.
Did we catch like a publication date or anything on this to know if it's like pre or post war?
Hell yeah! Great,
that's a great
great question. Yeah, this was 100%.
Right, give it
You look for that at the start, and you can see that it's signed. There's that it is noted that it is published in. I can't be asked to look at the calendar and see. Actually, I will know. It'll be published in 2876 of the Elven era, which is approximately 300 years ago.
Oh, so this is like
It notes that it was originally published at that time. This might be a later
Right.
copy, but that's where the book dates from.
72nd edition or something.
Indeed.
yeah.
Before I was born.
Now with new illustrations.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they were all lost in the Asmonos chapter, so
Yeah, just lots of pictures in there.
Yeah.
they're so chock full of it.
If you can find a
pop
copy of
ups
this book
and
that's like mint condition, it's worth an absolute fortune, I can tell you.
Mm.
Yeah, what copies with the Asmonos pages included are very, very rare.
Set for life.
Amazing. Let me have a look at the section about Zamanos.
Zamenos, yeah.
Or Zamanos, yeah. I'll get
Yeah.
these pronunciations right eventually, I
That-
promise.
don't worry about it at all. Yeah, it just speaks of Zamenos and describes Zamenos' features and the kinds of people that tended to to worship him, but you don't find anything that's sort of incriminating or of particular interest.
Okay. Here's a thought. I want to kind of, with the book closed, I want to see if there's any sections that look like particularly like used. Turn to, dog-eared, that sort of thing.
Hell yeah! What, you guys are asking all the right questions. Yes.
I knew I made the good choice in giving you the book.
The you do see on your, sorry, just dropped something, on a 15. Yeah, you can see that there is a section that appears to be particularly well thumbed. It's actually a section on Pahanos, Pahanos, the mountain god. And the pages there are, yes, as exactly as you say, they are a little more dog-eared, a little more. It would appear that section has been opened to repeatedly. Not only that, but when you look at that section, there are things written in the margins. You know, notes that someone's been contributing to this to this book that just kind of nothing like incredibly revolutionary, just commentaries on things like the whoever wrote in the margins, writing about like their own personal experiences with Pahanos and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like reflective
Love this.
kind of writing about.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. As I'm doing this and looking, and as we're following Veline, I want to ask, like, Veline, how long have you been out here? Do you know?
She pauses and her pace sort of slows, and you see her kind of looking off to one side. She goes, "How long ago was war?"
24 years.
She looks back at Lauren. 24. Then
24, 25.
Then I've been here. "16.
Did you originally come from Midgen?
Yeah.
Did they run you out of town?
She goes silent. And just looks at the floor as she continues to sort of walk along slowly.
Okay.
She what does she do? She she says, "Yes, I used to live there, and my mother was killed, and I left."
I'm so sorry.
But she lets out a deep sigh, says, "Soon we go back." And she looks around at the other wolves in the party. "Yeah, we go back soon."
That's lovely.
What a nice
Yes,
tale.
we will. We'll get 'em.
Tied eyes with Ingrid and Champlain.
We will get vengeance.
Be prepared.
Anything else you want to guerrilla about?
I was gonna kind of, as I'm flipping through the book, and I feel like these kind of things are happening in tandem with one another. You know.
Yeah, sure.
I think as I find and start looking through the section on Pahanos, I will kind of tilt it to show and say, "Are these your notes?"
She rests her hand on the pages and sort of almost like caressing it. And you see a tear roll down one cheek. And my mother. This is all left. Only this.
Well, that's a beautiful thing.
Sorry for your loss.
She smiles and says, she's frustrated. You can see her, she wipes away a tear and has this sort of like half smile on her face, but is also frustrated because she's struggling to find the words, and says, Mijin called Mijin because of me. My mother, she was first there, and I was baby, and the mountain, I point at mountain and say Mijin. I call it Mijin.
It's beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, I think Jeb would just be like taken aback by that. That's heavy. Wow.
My mother called the town Mijin. And then more people come, and my mother she looks up at you, and we go back soon. Come, Great Wolf, this way.
Could I switch to Elvish
Yeah.
as a slightly risky move and just
Ooh.
kind of... How long has it been since you've heard this tongue?
She responds back in Elvish. Speak more slowly.
Is common more comfortable?
She says, last person I heard. She says this in Elvish, but again it's broken, and again
Kind of the
she
same pacing, I guess.
struggles for words and says, last elf speak I heard, my mother.
I hope the sound could bring you some comfort. I'm truly sorry for your loss.
What's the... In Elvish, she's sort of... What's the word for... She, like, makes, like, a tearing motion, like... When you... She switches to common. She's like, kill.
So what are you guys talking about?
Just weather.
I imagine Ingrid and I just like looking at each other like, huh? And then we just hear, hell.
I'm making a friend, please.
All right.
We'll just be over here.
You
Just
talk
enjoying the
funny.
discomfort. Delaria is just like like all the guys
Kill.
kill.
Yeah, kill, right.
She nods with recognition. Yes, we go back soon. While
I
it's
kind of make big eyes at
That's
the other
right.
guys, like,
Lynn cracks my knuckles.
while this walk's going on, the wolves around you have become a little calmer, and one of them kind of sidles up next to Ingrid and kind of like nudges her leg with its head.
If it is acting like a dog, I will try to pet it.
Yeah, you can pet it. It's
Heck yeah.
it initially recoils. It's not been pet before. It's a wolf, but it then leans back in and you know what? Give me animal handling. I never ever ask for animal handling checks. We've got to take these opportunities when they come
Yeah,
out.
you
That's
got it.
fair.
can
Yeah,
I
yeah.
try
you're doing
and
this-
help by like handing her just like a little piece of ration to try and like help her out with
Nice,
this, like
nice.
try and give it this, try and give it this.
While you're doing this
Kid.
roll, have you ever heard of the behavior of coyotes where they will play like a playful dog to lure smaller animals and children into the woods to
Whoa.
kill them?
Nope.
That is an actual learned behavior that coyotes have picked up over the ages to like basically literally trick things into being like, hey, I'm fun and playful, and then when they get out in the woods are like, get their ass, and it's fucked up.
That is fucked up.
So yeah, so anyway.
So Mark has
Think
like a
about
wiki
that.
page for that behavior up on his other one. Oh yeah, that's wild, guys.
So weird.
That's some backwoods wisdom right there.
On an 8, I think actually this wolf recoils and like isn't aggressive, but just like that was too much. It didn't like that.
Okay.
It's not
fair.
used to that. It steps away a little bit and kind of continues to walk alongside you, but at a slightly greater distance.
I respect it. It's fine.
The day this walk goes on for some time. The day begins to grow darker. Valine keeps looking up into the trees, as if trying to get her bearings, and sort of like she's sort of looking around at various things, but keeps looking up into the trees as well. Almost there.
Can I do? This feels like it would be a very tricky thing to try, but some kind of sense motive to get. This is not a thing that you'd probably be able to read, but just kind of like, is this a true? Do I feel like I'm actually being led in a safe way, or is this feeling more and more kind of maybe there's some kind of ulterior motive going on here?
Are you trying to read her intentions?
I'm attempting to. I'd
Yeah.
like to. I feel like that's a blank wall that I wouldn't be able to read. Oh, sorry, I'm saying sense motive. Pathfinder's leaking in. I mean insight. Sorry.
Yeah, insight. Yeah, give me an insight check. That'd be great.
Fantastic. Oh yeah, no. This could be like so good with my -1. Thought that was close to a 20.
She she seems calm. That's probably about as much as you can delineate from that.
I might sidle up to Ingrid and just kind of like, does this feel comfortable to you, or I don't know if I'm just getting itchy.
Can I sense if it's comfy to me?
How
Roll
would
for vibe
I?
check.
How would I do? How would I check
I don't know.
if you feel comfy? Well, give me your own. Give me perception, then.
Okay. I feel so uncomfy.
Feels
Well, maybe not.
Yeah, feels.
That dog really, or that wolf really like took me out of it. I was like, I
You're
don't
just
know where we're
told.
going. I don't know. It's jumpy. don't know.
At that moment, one of the wolves runs ahead a few steps, just kind of like trots past, just like picks up his pace a little, trots past Valine, who's been leading this group. And Valine stops and holds up a hand. This wolf smells the air. Oh! It lets out a howl, but as it does so, an arrow comes whistling through the trees and wham, goes straight through its neck, and this wolf drops dead.
Dang.
Lorben, give me
Yeah,
a perception check.
Fuck.
Looking ahead in this panicked state, you can see Cradley's brother Locke standing in the with a loosed bow in the hedges. Valine sees him too and wheels round to all of you and says, "You did come hunt! You lie!"
Fuck no.
I don't know that man.
Lorben,
I'm gonna say with like a lot of authority and resolve, like we could stop this.
well, that does remain perhaps a route to go down, but I do need to request that everybody roll initiative.
Oh man, okay. Oh boy.
Oh boy, oh boy. Oh, look at that.
Oh, the
Yeah.
graphic! Look at that. I
Yeah,
like
you
the
know,
lot.
Fancy.
That's not bad.
This man has production values.
I need to do a couple of rolls as well.
Oh my god.
So it's was it a 17, 14 and a
17 was
6?
the first, yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Let me just do this. So I will, give me 2 seconds and I will do some, and I'll tell you what's going down. 17, 14, oops, and a 6. I am going to roll. So, what is around you then? And I can make you guys transparent briefly as well, so that you can just see the kind of full map, apart from the roll log, which everyone's sitting on top of. So I think Valine's ahead of you. Let's move Valine quickly to here. This wolf at the front is dead, so we can actually take them off the board. Where are they? You there. Get the fuck out of here. So ahead of you, you've got Valine and 2 wolves, and then you can also see Locke. And over and then away in the distance, Lorben, you're just able to make out 2 other figures, which are Borgwyn and Cradley. That being said, Borgwyn is carrying the wrong token. So let me change it quickly to a lovely, smelly old dwarf. There we go. Good. So
Cradley on the bottom left.
Cradley on the bottom
And then
left,
Borgwyn at the top.
Borgwyn in the middle, and
Locke front.
Locke in the bushes, having just loosed that arrow into the wolf's neck, which has killed it instantly. I need to roll some initiatives here. Let's roll for Valine. A 9. So let's roll for Cradley. A 6. Dun, dun, dun. And then let's just roll for the 2 wolves. That's a 14. Oops. And finally, let's roll for Locke and Borgwyn. And that's a 19. Ooh. That is going to be...
Thankfully, he has -6 penalty on his dex, right?
Who does?
Right.
Oh. So, we are in combat. And you hear Cradley call out Lorben, saying, "Good job, lad. Fantastic. 3 more pelts to add to the pile. Don't kill the girl, of course." Locke has already had his turn. Borgwyn can only really move because he is a melee fighter, so he's not going to roll any attacks. He is simply going to move down off this rock face to get closer to the group. That seems like about 30 feet. And wouldn't you know it, Lorben, you're up next in the initiative.
Right. I think I'm going to try and... At this point in time, do Velen and the wolves seem like hostile directly to the rest of us?
The last thing that happened right before this kicked off was Valine accused you of lying. She looks furious.
Yeah, okay.
That being said, they have already... The direct attack has come from Locke so far.
Yeah. Got 2 things in mind, so I'm just trying to think what the best one is.
You're in between a rock and a hard place, aren't you?
Literally. Okay. I'm gonna pull out another weird one. So, as a bonus action, I'm gonna use my Awakened Mind ability. Where I'm going to choose Velen so that me and her can communicate telepathically for the next 3 minutes.
Great.
The duration of which will be me constantly just, whenever I'm not actively talking, it's just like, please, you have to believe us. This was nothing to do with it. I did my best to try and get us around this. They're just fools. They vote on everything. And it's just this for like however long this encounter's going for.
All right. So
it's like a mixture of me getting things off my chest and actually trying to apologize. So that's a bonus action to begin the telepathic communication.
All right. As part of that, could you please give me a persuasion roll?
Love to.
Maybe hold on though. I'm just debating whether it's going to be with disadvantage.
I have just randomly started telepathically communicating with her with no indication that was on the table.
She looks really startled by that, firstly, and is like obviously is already in a quite sort of heightened state of concern. Let's do it with disadvantage. Let's do a persuasion with disadvantage. This is going to have a DC of 12.
I could do it, I believe.
No!
Oh.
And I so nearly said 10 as well.
If you'll allow it,
Go on.
I would also like to cast, with my normal action, Silent Image, to essentially just try and create a 15-foot illusory wall between the rest of the hunters and the wolf group, just to kind of, it's a 15-foot cube, so 15 foot up and to the sides, just as a kind of like you can't hit us. There's a big wall in the way, so just try and interrupt them shooting. It's purely illusory. Any physical interaction completely negates it, but it is visibly there.
Okay, a creature that uses its action to examine the image can determine it is an illusion with a successful intelligence check or investigation check against your spell save DC. So you're putting up what appears to be to them a wall.
Yeah,
And-
like it literally just a red brick wall. It
Yeah.
would not make sense in a forest, but it's just pure
And it-
fear of just
It just
don't hit us
suddenly
with
appears.
arrows. Yeah, exactly. It's not the smartest illusion the Lorbin's ever put together, but I think in a tight pinch, he's hoping it'll do.
And presumably this is going to go kind of in this middle section, like where the kind of intersection is in front of Locke and Borgren, right?
Yeah, if you look at the rock by the downed wolf, it's probably like a diagonal across there.
Yeah,
as
gotcha.
far as 15 foot. would
100%. Got it. Great. Everyone else needs to keep in mind that that's there for cover reasons as well. Any movement, Lorben?
cover. No, I think I'm going to stay near Valine in a minute just to kind of try and smooth things over as best I can
Okay.
telepathically.
So you're just continuing to bombard her with these messages. Ingrid,
Pretty much.
Ingrid, you're up.
I would like to move in front of our friend here, Valine, and just kind of try to block her. Be like, I'm protecting you. This is not us.
Okay, I love that. So just you're going to come about here. That's probably about as far as you can move to anyway. That's where this is going to be right on the edge. You're going to be right in front of that wall. So that wall is kind of smack in front of you now. You can, just if I make you transparent again, you can go around it, of course, down the bottom. But at the moment, you're kind of stood between Valine and this wall. Cool. Anything
fine.
else?
I'm like, do I rage? Probably I should rage. I'm gonna rage.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'll rage. My
Cool.
Path of the Wild Heart. Thematically, I'm gonna choose wolf.
Okay. Tell me more. Tell me more about that.
So allies have advantage on attack rolls against any enemy within 5 feet of me, which I know is not like the case currently, but when they
Nice.
move, they'll be within 5 feet of me.
Awesome. Right, wolves are up. They are going to go for it. We got 2 wolves. One of them is going to move over this rock round to here, and is going to do a bite attack. Let's give it a whirl, girl, and that looks like a +4 to hit. Cool. An 11 is a miss. Cool. The next wolf is going to go and join its friend and attempt the same thing, basically. In fact, it can kind of leap over here. And try the same thing. Let's go, go, go. That's more like it. It's going to be a hit. And that is going to roll damage of... 8! That's huge, man. Cool. Takes a big chunk out of Borgwyn. Who it like cries out, is like, I wish to go on record that I was against this from the start.
I appreciate you telling us your feelings on the matter.
Thank you, Lorban. I thank you for acknowledging it.
You know, stop for just a second.
Cool.
Take a time out.
Next up in the thing is Valine. Valine just like walks up to the brick wall and begins sort of and goes to put her hand on it. She looks really confused at this thing. So now she needs to do an investigation check. Which is going to be... Ooh. Ooh. What's the
DC?
Yeah, what's the spell save DC?
12.
She makes a 12. In doing so, she reveals that it's see-through. Now, only she knows that, right? Like everyone else, does everyone have to make a, or does it destroy the illusion completely?
If a creature discerns the illusion for what it is, the creature can see through the image.
So as far as I'm concerned, only she knows that's the situation. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
Great. So she
Your
has.
allies have to do that too, I assume.
So
I think I could just tell you. I think if I was to alert you, like this wall ain't real, then I think
I'm putting this up.
Okay, cool.
Fake wall. Boo.
Now that
It's
was
like an anime. You just yell your attacks before you do them.
That's right.
that counts as her action. So she's not going to do anything further. She just stands there staring at this weird fake wall. Awesome. Next up is going to be Cradley, who is going to come. All he can do is movement as well. This is going to be he's going to come flying this way and come, and he runs up to kind of the other side of the wall and is going to put his hand on it as well. Let's see how he gets on with this. Let me just
double check what save it was. Or is it? Oh no, it's an investigation check, isn't it? Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
He's going to do potentially better. Let's have a look. 15 to beat,
DC
yeah?
12.
Oh, 12 to beat.
12 to beat. Cool.
Biff's it. This guy can't... As far as he's concerned, this is still a solid wall.
So, to be fair to it, the action inspection is a visual inspection. If he just goes up and taps it or does anything physical, he knows that it's not real. Like, because it's very much just a visual illusion.
Ah, yes,
So
you're right.
if he's got the thing to just be like, then he'll know it's not real.
Then I think he has revealed that to himself as he places a hand on this wall.
Yeah.
We're
gonna get real wild with this thing, so I just want to make sure that it's fair.
No, that's very good. Okay, we're back to. Oh no, cool. Jeb, you're up.
Okay, so who was the one that let the arrow fly? Is it the one?
Lock
with
in the
blue
lock in the
ring around him?
bushes. Yeah.
Lock in the bushes. Okay, can I see Lock from where I am?
He's got partial cover, so
Okay,
it'd be with disadvantage, I guess. Or so he's
Okay.
hang on a second. He's got half cover, so he's got a +2 to his AC and dexterity saving throws.
Okay, about what distance is he from me?
He would be about 40 feet. Basically, your
40 feet.
token is 5 feet itself. So, yeah, kind of use that as a gauge. Probably more like 45 feet, I'd say.
Okay. I want to take a movement to kind of come forward and sort of up the rocks, kind of just south of where that fallen tree is. Yeah, just to get, like, if I can, like, maybe a little bit higher where I can kind of get a good sight in on where he is. And I'm going to pull out a kind of a jar that is sloshing with this, like, kind of thick, like, beige slop liquid, and I'm going to, like, huck it through the air, and I'm trying to hit him with grease is what the spell is. It's so it, like,
Oh, cool.
and when it hits, it will make him, it's in a 10-foot area, so I don't necessarily even have to hit him. I just need to hit, like,
Yeah.
around him, right?
Yeah.
And when And if it lands, it will knock him prone, so he will be not able to fire anymore.
So he needs to succeed on a dexterity saving throw. He does have +2 on the dexterity.
Oof. Okay.
Because
so it's a DC 13.
because of the partial cover. So dexterity saving throw 13 to beat.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see how he gets on. Nat 20, he's fine. This vial of grease hits the trees and is kind of blocked off from affecting Locke at this stage.
All right, and I'm gonna call out and say, "Now that's enough. Now, this has to stop."
Cradley calls back and is like, "What are you doing?"
What are you doing?
We told you exactly what we were doing. We're hunting wolves. Veline is furious and reacts to this. She hears this. Says, "Arr! You were hunting."
Listen, I'm not a part of this group.
I just met these guys today.
I just, yeah, they just. I didn't even get to vote. Like,
That's right.
They
Didn't even let us vote.
I know.
We're back to the
You
top of
could have lied when
the.
you counted the votes.
I could have.
We're back to the top of the initiative, and it's Locke to go, who fits his crossbow with another bolt. He's going to take aim at one of the wolves that's attacking Borgwyn. Let's give that a try, shall we? 13, I think that will hit. It does hit. Let's do damage. You see this bolt come whistling out of the same as the first one did. Did I say it was a bow earlier? It's a crossbow, same difference. Comes flying out of the bushes and strikes one of these other wolves, and that is going to be a 6 damage. Cool. Then it's going to be Borgwyn, who is right next to. He's going to aim at the same wolf with a melee attack, which he's going to have it's a miss. He takes out a curved blade and draws it shing out of its sheath and swings through the air at this wolf, and the wolf dodges, missing with the attack missing altogether. Lorben, you're up next, my friend. You've still got a illusory wall, which most people now know is bullshit, but as far as Locke and Borgwyn and two wolves are concerned, it's still very much real.
I'm gonna maybe. I need to take an action really before I try and push it with Veline again. I think I'll drop concentration on the wall because that's not helping anybody. Is there a point where I can be within 10 feet of the three? No, I think I'm just going to shout out initially, just like, "Stop it! We're doing something here! Stop killing the wolves!" It's a poor attempt.
Let's try another persuasion with disadvantage again. We're going to say this one's going to be harder. This one's going to be a 14 DC.
I might have hit advantage there. Sorry. I hit advantage, but even if we take the 13...
You have a plus...
That's 13 plus 4, so 17.
We'll take it. That's fine. Cradley, hesitates. What do you mean?
They're friends. Please stop.
He's not sure what to do.
I don't want to have to force you.
Ooh. Give me an intimidation check.
Yeah, go on.
I just like snarl at him to give him an
Oh, fuck
advantage.
off. The weedy guy that has just never done anything and talks to his bag. I don't want to force you.
I'm in front of him.
He, do you know, I think if you'd left it at the persuasion, he might have gone for this. The attempt to intimidate has made it worse. He kind of looks at you, like cocks his head and is like, Lorben, you know that to attack another member of this group has to be subject to a vote first. You will never get away with this.
What actions do I have left?
Norman,
Have I got an action I can-
you do not have the opinion pillow at the moment. How dare you?
I'm gonna scream. I'm sick of the fucking pillow. Am I able to run to be within 10 feet of the 3 remaining members of the party? Not our party, their hunting party.
Yeah, I think so. I think you can get to like right where the wall was, basically, right? Yeah, you got it. Okay, so they are
I'm
more
trying
than.
to get to.
What do you need?
Goal. I'm trying to get to a point where I'm only within 10 feet of enemies and not within 10 feet of the wolves or of our party, including Daleen. So if that's possible,
that puts you, I would say, exactly 10 feet from all 3 of them, and that wolf is going to get included in this. If it's like a around you thing, then they're going to get caught in it as well.
maybe. I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna telepathically tell Valine, I'm sorry for the wolf, and I'm gonna cast Arms of Hadar and basically just burst into tentacles. Which.
What?
So tendrils just kind of appear from my body and just smack everyone within 10 feet of me. So that would be
a strength saving throw.
Strength save DC 12, or they're taking either 3d6 damage or half of it.
Cool. Let's do Locke and Borgwin first. I'll roll for both of them together.
I'll roll the damage after.
So strength saving throw, and we need to beat what? Sorry.
12. DC 12 is pretty low.
They're either both going to. No, I should roll for them separately. We'll roll for Locke first. Fail. We're going to roll for Borgwin. Succeed. Now we're going to roll for Cradley. Who does have that? Succeed.
And the wolf.
And the wolf. Cross your fingers, folks. Fail.
So I'm going to roll my damage.
Roll the damage, please. 6.
Couldn't be more average. So the ones that passed take 3 damage, necrotic. The ones that failed take 6, and I believe can't take reactions until their next turn.
Locke and the wolf failed, right?
I believe so.
So they take 6.
And they can't take reactions till their next turn.
And then Cradley and Borgwin take 3.
Potentially Rodney needs to make a save.
No, not Rodney.
He doesn't die. He just kind of poofs away for a bit. So it's kind of negligible for if he is or isn't in the bag anymore.
Okay, Rodney's. I'm going to roll a strength save for Rodney, who has a -2 to his strength. What do we got to beat? Sorry, I keep asking you that. 12. He fails.
So Rodney takes 6 damage, and he deserves it, and he knows that.
He's still alive, though. Wish I could say the same for everybody. As these arms of Hadar, these enormous tentacles come ripping out from Lorben, you watch two things happen that are going to definitely change this fight. Borgwyn catches one square in the face, and it sends him flying and catapult him into a rock where he slams his head into and falls down dead. Secondly, despite your apologies, this wolf, which had already taken a couple of hits, is also vanquished, I'm afraid. So we have two figures removed from the battlefield. This is this causes alarm in both for Veline and for Cradley and their associates. You just watch as this wolf dies. You just watch Veline just let out this anguish sound, just looks, just bursts into tears and just oh.
Just instant apologies. As much as that's like, I am so sorry. I really didn't mean for them to die. I thought I could get them, and just blubbering and apologies and just like, I'm trying to help you.
Anything else?
I think I'm spent.
Ingrid, you're up. What you got for me?
So is Valine technically an enemy? Like, if I move past her, will she make an attack of opportunity against me? Just curious. Just asking for a friend.
I'm tempted to say try it and find out. I'm tempted to say it's you don't know yet.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well,
You move away from where do you want to move to? Sorry, yeah.
I'm gonna move towards is it the guy in front of me?
Cradley, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna move to him. I'm gonna say I really didn't want to hurt you guys. Now's your last chance. Probably screaming that at him since I'm raging, but you know.
Valine is.
I preferred your delivery.
Valine is too overcome with anguish to attack you, so it's unclear what her intentions are. As you say that, then give me intimidation.
Yeah, I would love to.
Are you raging?
I am raging.
Give me intimidation with advantage.
All right.
DC on this though is going to be like 16. Oh, let's see. What have you done?
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
it doesn't seem like it's gonna be.
Never mind the
Not very
DC.
scary right now.
Maybe you were screaming. Maybe that was the delivery.
Maybe he just couldn't hear me. Like he's like, wait, what did you say?
I like the idea that to Ingrid she is speaking in this like, I'm trying to warn you, this is it, but to them it's just.
I tried.
I
guess I'll check if he doesn't do anything. Sorry.
Cradley looks over at the now dead body of Borgwyn and goes, "You killed our friend, and now we will kill you."
I didn't do anything. I guess I'll kill you too. I'll attack him.
All right, give me the.
I don't
Yeah.
feel great about the decisions I've made that have led to this point.
Give me the attack roll, please.
I'm also gonna reckless because why not?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, please.
Yeah.
So give me the attack roll with advantage, please.
Attack roll. That's fine, I think. Hold on. Where's my cheat sheet? Yes. God.
Lissy, you've caught a case of the
Yikes.
fills. It's a miss.
Dang. Yeah. Yeah, it sure is. Okay. Well.
Do you have a second attack? Or at level 3? No, you
Not
don't.
anymore.
No.
No.
Okay. All right.
I really don't want to hit him. Like, he was nice to me.
I think narratively that makes some sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You do see
All
that.
right, yeah, that's
You do see that Valine, through her tears, watches with some surprise as you take a swing at this guy, though. And next up in the sorry, anything else, Ingrid?
No, I think I have to take my bonus action to keep my rage, but that's about it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Next up in our thing is this wolf who is surviving, who's going to run up into the bushes and get into melee range on Locke, and attempt to do a number on him. Let's give it the beans, shall we? 14 is a hit, I'm pretty sure. It sure is. Let's give it damage. 8. God damn. Good rolls from the wolves.
This wolf deserves to survive.
Wish we could say the same about Locke, who is caught off guard, aiming his crossbow out into the field, when all of a sudden from one side, blam! Just blasted by a huge set of jaws that clamp around his neck, and within moments there is blood pissing out of his neck all over the fucking woods, and Locke is down and dead.
Oh my goodness!
He's
Wow.
fucking out of here. You see this wolf just snarl as it just like rips his jugular out, and let out this kind of almost triumphant, vengeful howl into the sky, leaving Valine next up on the initiative. She just looks at the carnage around her, and then looks at the dead bodies of Borgwyn. She looks at a little Locke's leg that is now poking out of a bush, and she snarls and comes flying around towards Cradley. I'm going to go transparent so you can see. She is going to hit him. 13, that's close. It's a miss. She, in her rage, in her anguished rage, Valine isn't able to land a proper hit on Cradley. Next up is Cradley, who is going to fire back at... he turns to Lorben. He's like, "My brother is dead. My friend is dead. And all because you have a change of heart after meeting a wolf. You were never fit for this group, Lorben."
You're not even holding the feelings pillow.
It's the opinions pillow! Rah!
Fuck! I knew it was wrong.
He is going to make, I hate to tell you this, 3 attacks.
You have to run. Does he have to run past me?
No, he's stood right next to you and Valine. He's not attacking. He's not attacking Lorben. He's attacking. He's gonna make his first attack against Ingrid. Actually, Ingrid, what's your AC? I have it here. It is 15.
15. And he does get advantage because I reckless attack.
And he's got advantage because of reckless attack. Well, if he doesn't hit, sorry. A 22.
Jeez.
None of them are a crit though. He is going to do some damage. Let me roll that damage for you. This is him swinging his sword through the air as it whistles down upon you. It's going to be a...
I don't feel bad at all hitting him, so watch out.
6 damage, Ingrid.
Ooh.
Okay.
And then second attack.
Do you have a damage resistance when you're raging or anything?
I am resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing.
My half of
Good
them.
looking out.
It is slashing damage. You can you can apply
Take
3 damage instead. That's
Cool, thank you.
good. Thank you for keeping us honest. I feel stupid thanking anyone now. Just,
I'm not going to thank anyone for at least 3 months, I think, for anything.
I have a feelings pillow. We can take.
he's going to make his
Thank you
next.
for refusing to thank people.
He's going to make his second attack against Ingrid. He's lashing out all against Valine. He's lashing out all over the place. Let's see how he gets on. It's a 12, which is a miss. And then finally, third attack is going to be against Valine again. That one hits and is going to be not very much, to be honest. 4 damage. We are now in what we might call mortal combat. In this fight is going to the death. But let me ask you all something, because I see no need to play out 5v1. How do you want to kill this guy?
I was potentially going to try and, if I got lucky with their saves, try and defuse it by making them get hit with Tasha's hideous laughter to maybe disable them for a bit in an attempt to...
All right, I'll tell you what we're going to do then. We'll go through the initiative until everyone's had one more go, and see what happens, and we'll see where we are next time it comes round to Cradley's turn. Okay?
This was on the assumption that he potentially, through some miraculous means, survived until my turn, because I know it's a way off.
Well, let's find out. Jeb, you're up.
All right. I'm going to kind of, as I'm reaching into a satchel for another vial of liquid that has kind of like a, sort of like a, almost like a sky blue color to it. I'm like, the stopper's gonna pop up, and I'm gonna just put like a little sprig of like a berry into it and put it, and then shake it. And while I'm doing that, I'm yelling to Valine. I'm like, "We're gonna set this right, Valine. We're gonna set this right." And I'm gonna huck it at Craigley, and sorry, I'm looking it up here very quickly. Where is it? It is Frostbite. So he does he has to save against Constitution 13, and if he fails, he will take 1d6 cold damage, and he'll have disadvantage on his next weapon attack roll until the end of turn.
I'm just seeing the last 3 months of my life playing out inside the bottle as it arcs over my head towards him.
Constitution save, yeah?
Yes.
Cool.
He has to beat a 13.
He does not.
Outstanding.
Give me the
All
damage.
right. So yeah, it's 1d6 cold, so it's not huge.
I'm going to
hit.
move you slightly closer. You probably were within range, to be fair, but just for the sake of whatever.
Yeah, so he only takes 2, but the ongoing effect being that he has disadvantage on his next weapon attack roll.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, literally. Quite cool.
It's quite cool. Very good. Anything else from you, Jeb?
No, with that movement kind of clambering down the rocks there, and I think it's like making my way closer to the rest of the group. Yeah.
Making my way downtown.
I knew it. I knew it.
Couldn't resist. Could not resist. The initiative is back to the top of the order, where Lorben is now the first person on the initiative. What you got for me, sir?
Oh, I think I'm going to. I'm gonna cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter. I get to going to double check. I get to target 2 creatures at this level of slot. So I'm going to choose the wolf, and I'm going to choose. Let me double check that it actually needs to understand me. I think that's Vicious Mockery. No, yeah, is a wolf capable of laughter?
Yes.
So philosophical.
That is unfortunately a prerequisite.
And a creature with an intelligence score of 4 or less isn't affected. A wolf has. So wolf's not affected.
Okay, I'm going to uselessly target it anyway, just for my own amusement. And I'm going to cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter on. Sorry, on. Craigly?
Cradley, yeah.
Is it with a D or is it with a G? Because I've been trying to pick it up this whole time.
It's with a D. You don't know this, but Cradley and Locke, who are brothers, their last name is Heath. Cradley Heath is a suburb of Birmingham, and Locke's Heath is a suburb of Southampton.
Ah,
Nice.
I know Locke's Heath.
There you go.
So they have to make a DC 12 Wisdom save,
Cool.
or they're full prone and can't act.
So, sorry, a con save, yeah?
Wisdom save. DC
Wisdom
12.
save, sorry. DC 12. All right. This is for the last attempt, really, at de-escalation. Because next up in the
forcibly making him laugh.
Because next up in the initiative is Ingrid, who. Let's see. 12 to beat. It's a 4.
So
Nice.
he falls prone, uncontrollably laughing, however that looks for him. And
I
can't
think what it looks like, Cradley, as he's hit with this spell, is suddenly like. Of course, they look like big dogs. Collapses to the floor, rolling around in laughter.
and I guess I'm then pleading with Velen to not kill him with some attempt at de-escalation with the telepathic connection. I do not believe it will be successful, but that's what I'm attempting to do, is still just trying to tide things over with Velen.
Persuasion. Disadvantage.
Yeah.
14.
Yeah, it's a 4. Disadvantage.
Oh, you were so close as well.
Dang.
Can I try to rush in too? And I want to just like, Valine, please, no, kill. And I'm like trying to use the sign language that she was using with us, but to say like, don't do it.
It's not really your turn, Jeb, is it?
Oh, we're still in initiative order. You're right. It's not. I'm sorry.
I was thinking about whether or not I want to allow that, but I think
I
think
think Ingrid gets to decide whether this guy lives or dies, right?
Ingrid, you're up. With Tasha's Hideous Laughter, at the end of each time it takes damage. The target can make another saving throw. It's triggered by it. The target has advantage on the saving throw if it's triggered by damage. But you don't. I was wondering if you had advantage against him because he's laughing, but I don't
do because he's prone.
Probably because he's prone.
Because he's prone. So you have got advantage against this guy if you want to attack Ingrid.
I think Ingrid would be like ready to attack, but is not about to attack a man that is like down. She's just like, this is your fight. I'm just gonna wait. So I'll take my bonus action to like keep up my rage for one more turn, but I will just kind of wait for something to happen.
Interesting.
If he gets up and starts swinging again, I'll be like,
Interesting.
I don't know
Restraint.
what kind
I've
of
got
man
restraint.
would come out of this after all of the de-escalation. I've,
Yeah, I
I've
don't
killed
know.
everyone this man knows and loves, and now I'm trying to save him. I don't really know what my end goal
I'll
is
give
here.
I'll give him one more chance, you know.
Yeah.
He says one more bad thing, he's getting his head chopped off. What, you know?
I tell you who's
Yeah.
not going to give them any such chance, and that is this wolf. This guy's coming in fucking hot with
wild animal.
an advantage attack. So shitty ass rolls, misses even with advantage. Snaps and snarls in its face. Next up in the order is Valine. You know, I'm fighting myself a little bit here. Like, I can see how much you guys want this to de-escalate, but the dice have spoken. Valine
The dice
is
are
not.
telling the story,
They
man.
really- Yeah.
Valine
Do it,
is
do
not.
it.
She's not letting up. She is furious. She's coming in with advantage. Oh fuck! Oh, it's a crit.
Oh,
It's
my
a
God.
crit.
Martin,
Go on,
tell us how
please,
you want to
guys.
do this.
Yeah, how do you want to do this? How do you want to kill your own person?
So it's
I feel
going
like
to
DMs don't
be.
get that often.
That's
Martin with his
true.
2 action figures just going.
Let's roll the damage first. Not great rolls, to be honest, but a 15.
I suspect 15 will do it, though, right?
That's pretty big.
And he's prone, so I don't know if you get.
He does. Oh, of course, he does get to. Well, I guess he doesn't if he's dead.
That does seem to limit his options, I think.
He's not dead.
Probably.
He's not.
Uh-oh.
He's not looking great though. And he gets to make a wisdom saving throw to try and break out of
With advantage.
with advantage.
You know what is so fucked up about Tasha's hideous laughter is that while this is happening, he is just belly laughing
Yeah,
hysterically.
yeah,
as
while,
he's being torn to shreds. It's so gruesome.
While
It's-
Valine is carving him up, he's just like.
yeah,
But he does succeed in breaking the hideous laughter and climbs to his feet. And he's up next in the initiative. Now, he must know his race is run. He looks over at Lorben. He goes, "Please, Lorben. Please, stop them."
I did my best. You wouldn't listen without a vote.
All right. Well, thank you for explaining it.
Thank you for listening.
Jeb, you're up.
I just give you the nod of just like, it's kind of this way.
Do it.
Oh my god.
He's got basically 2 wild animals on either side.
Yeah,
Arguably 3.
yeah, yeah. Right now, yeah.
I'm gonna take. I you know what? I might. I think I want to do something else with Cradley that might take this out of your hands. He's gonna
Okay.
try and run, but it's gonna provoke 3 attacks of opportunity.
He sure
I
is.
don't choose.
Now the question is, Ingrid, are you gonna take your attack of opportunity?
I mean, yeah, I saw Lorben's like do it. Nod.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Then Ingrid, give me the thingy.
The thingy.
It's a hit.
Well, hell.
You will not have to hit him very hard.
Let's see.
Give me the
Engaging,
damage.
And it's not very good, but
2 plus 7.
With a +7.
Pretty good. Barbarians are so cool, man.
Cradley,
Barbarians bonk hard.
severely wounded as he is, Cradley turns and tries to flee. But Ingrid has seen enough and brings her axe down into this guy's back and just BAM! Embeds it in his spine.
right.
Cradley Heath, the leader of the most democratic bandits you ever saw, has called his last vote, and he drops to the ground, dead.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Democracy simply does not work.
You are out of initiative because Valine, surveying the scene and watching Ingrid deliver this killing blow, is surprised and hesitant. But she doesn't turn to fight you. And taking its lead from her remaining wolf companion also does not.
Did
I
it
think
die? Hey.
Yeah, I think Jeb would actually take a knee, like directly in front of it, like me on her eye level, so she didn't even have to look up at me, and just say like, "We're so sorry. We tried to avoid them. We tried to reason with them, tell them to stop. They wouldn't listen, and I'm sorry that your wolves paid the price."
She scampers across the ground to where one of the wolves is lying. The one that was first killed at the outset lies with a crossbow bolt through its neck, and she just bows her head and puts her head against it and just begins to weep.
I'll kind of cautiously, but I'll place a hand kind of on her shoulder, with some hesitation. So I don't want her to snap at me, obviously, but
The
yeah.
remaining wolf slowly kind of walks up alongside her and lets out a soft howl and then nuzzles up against Valine. She it's now got quite dark. It's certainly well into the evening. The night sky is above you, and Valine, through her tears, looks up at the three of you and then looks up at the stars, and she points. Great Wolf. There.
I'll look up.
The night sky, the canopy of stars above you, smiles back down. She, Valine, through tears still, and with an effort, lifts herself up, and the first time you've seen her do this, stands on 2 feet. She takes Jeb's arm and uses his own hand as a pointer. And you watch as she sketches out in the night sky a constellation. She says, Great Wolf.
No, I'll take note of it. Yeah.
I think I'll have probably retrieved some kind of shovel or something and begun to try and dig at least a shallow grave for the three ex-comrades that I killed in a kind of fit of anger and maybe it overextended. And try and like.
Valine looks at you and goes, "What are you doing?"
Did you have other ideas? I effectively killed these people.
They're our food now. You leave them.
This is the way of things.
I hate to say this, but did they have anything useful on them?
Loop that body.
Ingrid's, Lissy, you're a D&D player through and through, aren't you? Loot these motherfuckers.
Loop that body now.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're coming to help me dig the graves.
Just like picking them up, but also looking in the pockets.
It's interesting you ask that, because there is something that you find. You find a few pieces of gold. I assume you're searching all three of them, yeah? I think their weapons to you would not be an improvement on your own. But you find in total 12 gold. And the other thing that you find on Cradley is a strange looking mask. It's not something that you've ever seen before, Lorben, but
Yeah, I was going to ask whether this was something
something,
Ingrid was still looking on her own, or if it was everyone could see.
I think if I found it, I would have probably brought it to you and said,
Yeah.
"You recognize it?"
Yeah, okay. But not something I've ever seen then.
No, I've never shown this to you before.
Do I recognize it in just as a conceptual level?
It has the appearance of like kind of like a masquerade mask. It's like just covers half the face.
Huh.
It's
This music is perfect for this.
it's plain white, but has a like around the edge of it a kind of blue floral pattern that just traces around the edge of it.
That's interesting. I don't recognize this in any way, but it looks like a masquerade mask, a bull mask. This is not something I could picture him using. I mean, it was democratic, but we weren't exactly going out to a masquerade.
Sure. Weird. Do you want to hang on to it? He was your party member, kind of your group leader. I don't know.
Honestly, I would, but if I see Rodney with that on, I might just. I'd rather you held on to it for now. I have to be quite careful with what I keep.
That makes sense. I'll hang on to it.
Yes, thank you.
So yeah, Valine is still looking up at the stars and this constellation that she's sketched out with Jeb's hand.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask her and say, Valine, what does this constellation mean to you?
It's just, it reminds me of Mother.
Did it have any connection with Pahanos?
Not. She struggles again for a word. Not direct. But what happened to that book? Were you still carrying it?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that I probably had, like, as soon as the fighting started breaking out, I slung it into one of my satchels.
She looks at you and says, "The book.
Yes, of course. No, I'll pull it out and I'll flip to the section again.
She takes it from you and closes it and points at the front cover. And she points at the name Tillis Trelane and says, "He'll know."
All right. Thank you for lending me that. You take care of it now.
Yes. Find him, and he'll know.
I just nod.
She looks around at the carnage and just goes, "You should go. We have things to do." And she gives a kind of grim chuckle. Goes, "You will not want to see."
I reckon you are very right in that assessment. I think none of us are too keen on beholding what's about to go down, so we thank you, though, sincerely. Thank you very much, Valine.
Ignorance is bliss here, I think, for sure.
I reckon you're correct.
Yep.
Can
So
you tell
wait-
us where we might be able...
Go ahead.
Just quickly, I'll say, I don't suppose you know where we could find Tillis.
I knew that he lived before the war in Valarian.
All right, we'll start there.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Valine. You take care of yourself now.
Eileen, I'm truly, truly sorry.
I as well.
I take my leave of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll kind of set out.
Which direction are you headed?
That's a good question.
Yeah. I think we
You guys have a
probably need
map?
to. Well, I know that we are north of Oakenford.
Right.
I feel the need to return there now. It's been a month. And I would relay this to you as well. Like, you know, that now that we've done what I was here to do, I feel strongly that we need to return and check on them. And Ingrid, you were there,
Fine.
weren't you? What was
I
it
was.
like when you were there?
It was a lot.
thi-
I've not seen a disaster like this before.
I think Ingrid, what you would know is it's if a month has passed since the since just over a month since the actual disaster, you were there probably like 2 weeks after it happened, but that was now like over 3 weeks ago. What you saw at that time was there had been some cleanup. You know that the aid from Midgen did arrive and was being put to use, and some other aid seemed to have arrived from elsewhere. But you weren't there long enough to kind of find out the details of that. But there was a cleanup operation underway, and that's kind of what you would know.
Yeah. I'll just relay that.
That. Sure.
That.
I just like what he said, like pointing at ours.
No, don't
Right up in the air.
don't point out this way. No, this is the fourth wall. You're not allowed to point only at those three walls. You can only see those three walls. Okay, it's like when you're in Monica's living room in Friends. You know, you don't want to. You can't see what's coming on this way. You know.
Oh, no.
Suddenly
Um,
taking some kind of psychic damage by the realization of the truth of the world.
So yeah, that's kind of what you know. So Jeb, your opinion is that you should be heading back to Oakenford now.
Yes. Yeah, I think Jeb would be, now that this is done, I think his mind would immediately snap to like, I need to make sure that they're okay, and also the other lingering thought about the meteor and just everything around that too, that we were in such a haste that feeling the need to just go back and check
Yeah,
all of that.
as a reminder, above the table, the meteor itself seemed to be giving off a red glow when Jeb left Oakenford, which was not investigated any further. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
Love to take a look at that.
Yeah, at the time we felt so urgently that we needed to like get to Midgen that we kind of put that aside. But yeah, so there's a
Northern.
little bit of a dread. But yeah.
Am I right in saying that Midgen is like, we would basically be going past Midgen to get to Oakenford? My mental map of this area is poor.
Let me.
Kind of.
Why don't I just go ahead and put the map on the screen for you?
That'd be fantastic.
Only we had a map that we could see. Oh,
So.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Directly south of the
What
forest of Taryn. Now, just to give you an idea, by the way, I have you. I didn't say this. I didn't say this at the start, but I have you about halfway up the forest of Taryn, but not far from the eastern border of it, which would be the main road. Where if you were then to go north, it would take you to Valarian, where is your lead on this Tillus Trelline guy, and south. That main road takes you directly to Oakenford Crossroads. Midgen is a slight diversion away from the road, but yes, you kind of essentially do go past it.
Could we would be doing this with the weight of knowing that potentially they're going to be slaughtered by wolves, but could we potentially stop through Midgen and see if anyone knows anything of let me get the name, Tillus Trelline, just as we go through, because I don't know whether they are knowledgeable or if anyone there may have any information, but
right.
Not a bad idea. We could at least. How far away would Midgen be from where we are right now? That could be like a good spot to camp, or like to sleep for the night, maybe.
Midgen was about a day's walk from Oakenford. They set off in the maybe just over half a day's walk, I think, if I remember correctly. So from where you are now, Midgen is like a good 2 days away on foot. It might even be closer to 3. I'm going to say it'd be 3 if you go through the forest, and 2.5 if you exit and go by the main road.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm keen to get out of these. I'm keen to get out of these woods.
I mean, if we're lucky, we might be able to catch a ride with, I don't know, a trade caravan or any kind of traveling merchants.
Possible.
That,
Yeah,
We're
but
lucky.
that could happen.
and I look up at the moon and the stars again and say, I mean, I know we all can see fairly well in this light, but it might be nice to bed down.
Yeah, true.
I agree.
Maybe get a little farther away from the carnage that's about to happen, though.
Yeah, I'd rather not hear it. I'd rather not hear the endings ripping and whatnot. So yeah.
Do any of you potentially have any camping supplies spare? As I just have an imp in my bag and my tent was recently soiled.
Well,
I could provide you something, friend. No
That would be
worries.
fantastic. Thank you, Jeb.
Of course.
Sure, we figured it out.
So you guys are heading to the main road, right?
In
Yeah,
that
I think
direction, but
so.
probably camping, right?
Yeah.
Until we
Well,
I guess need to settle down for the night.
Walking off eastwards towards the forest border as if any of the three of you look back over your shoulder, you would indeed see Valine and the remaining wolf close in on the body of Cradley. and it's best if we leave them to it, I think.
Fade to black on that one.
The
Smash cut.
main road awaits, and your road, which sounds like it's going to be heading back south, lies ahead. But that will have to wait for another day, and I think that is a very good point for us to cease our activities for the day. Don't you, folks?
Sounds great.
All right. Yeah.
Good stuff. Thank you very much indeed, gang.